Phoenix Down Radio is on the air.
Welcome, everybody, to Phoenix Down Radio, episode number 96. How's everyone doing today?
I have a full platter of shrimp cocktail.
Seems legit.
I've been doing lots of videos and I've been talking a lot, so my voice is not good. I mean, yay, hello.
It's hot, but I'm good.
It's high noon.
It's actually a really nice day here, so I can't complain there. Yesterday was rather warm, but glad everybody could join us. We have Sarah back this week. Hey, Sarah.
Yo.
We have Chili returning. Welcome back,
Yay.
Chili.
Thank you.
You heard that lovely voice of our, what do we want to call you? Our culinarian extraordinaire, Tal is Marvelous.
Resident culinarian is here.
Welcome
is back.
We also have a special guest joining us today from PlayStation Universe, game journalist and co-host of the PlayStation Unchained podcast, Timothy Nunes. Tim, welcome to the show.
Hi, I even brought my wind tunnel with me.
Hey, excellent.
But did you bring your problematic stickers?
How was that?
Hey, Susan.
So Tim is here to tell us all about the Shadowbringers media tour and his experience there. That lucky bastard got to go. Got to meet the Yoshi.
Yoshi P is awesome. Oh my god.
Dude is amazing. He's probably one of the most universally loved producers of any video game out there.
I mean, he's the one that people actually know.
Yeah. I mean,
how many other producers of games do you actually interact that much with the fan base?
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
Well, no, people know Kojima. He's very famous. But I'm not sure that he is on the same level of getting with the.
Oh, he's not on the same, but he does
with.
like to. He's
a very divisive figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll interact with you. I said when he was at Eurogamer years ago for Metal Gear Rising, he was people were trying to take pictures of him, and he got a bit annoyed that people kept taking pictures, so he started taking pictures of people playing the game instead.
Well, people are all different, I guess, but it is what it is. But I'm glad you could join us, Tim, and we look forward to having you tell us all about your experience down there. But first, what's everybody been up to?
I finally got around to working on Crafters, and I got another couple jobs to 70, so I think I just have 2 left at this point for the combat jobs.
Damn, you're going all out, aren't you?
I like understanding how they work. Even if I don't necessarily play them, I want cool outfits for them, and I just like to think mechanics are interesting.
That's true. That's a good point. Have you been enjoying any of the events lately that have been started?
So I did manage to get the FF15 stuff done in time.
Good.
And so far I've gotten a couple of those irregular tomestones. I'm not quite sure what I want to save up for at this point, but it is fun to think about.
Fair enough.
I think you know what you want to save up for. We all know what you want to save up for.
But after the Namazu earrings.
Wasoi!
Yes. Chili, what have you been up to? I see you've been working on your machinist.
Yeah, I've been working on my machinist because I wanted my little gun that goes pew pew.
Pew pew.
So I decided to level that up while also grinding for the tomes for the event. I'm currently at 30 tomes and I've got my first mount. I've got the Gubu mount. So now I'm saving up for the next 30. Yay.
Nice.
Fun times.
Because he's too lazy to actually do the Beast Tribe quests.
Yeah, I'd rather just grind Sycra's Tower.
Phrasing.
I'll just put on YouTube.
What else are you supposed to do with a tower that big but grind?
yeah, I suppose other things.
All right, we are 3.5 minutes into the episode, and we're already there.
We're late. What are you talking about?
This is quite late for us.
I'm late.
You never want to be early.
So what you're saying is that stuff should have come more prematurely.
Ah.
I like you.
Talas, what have you been up to since your last appearance?
So since I was last on the show, I actually helped a friend open a restaurant, which was why I haven't been able to be here on Saturdays because, Saturdays and restaurants and waterfront and burger place. I was a little busy. They were eventually able to get on their feet. I helped them train their staff, and I was able to leave that particular place. And so now I'm kind of back to projecting and doing some independent contract stuff. I've been playing 14 a lot more because I finally have some free time to do so. And right about the time that I started getting really into it, they were like, oh, hey, we're going to change how crafting works. I'm like, oh, God damn it. All right. So I guess I'm taking another small break, but I'm still going around and grabbing some Moogle tomestones while I'm here.
May as well. Any jobs you're leveling up?
Yes, I'm finally re-leveling Monk. My original character that turned out not to be my legacy character, I had Monk at 60 at the end of Heavensward. And then went, oh crap, that's not my legacy character. I want my tattoo. Let's do this thing. And I switched and I did everything again. But I decided to not go through the game as Monk again. I wanted to go through as a different class. And I went through as Marauder, later Warrior. So I was like, oh, I want my Monk back. So now I'm leveling up Monk. But the last time I leveled up Monk was Heavensward like 3.3. So it's a very different job than I remember playing.
What's a monk?
This is the monk, the best job.
Oh,
Kamehameha!
The punchy thing? I thought that was called a pugilist.
Monk is the one where like you do a dragon kick at the beginning and then wonder why all your stacks went.
You say, oh, that hurts so much.
Kane says monk is a job that got deleted.
Kick.
Yeah, I was going to say tornado kick.
However, dragon kick is the one that you fight with over the other monks over who has to do it.
Yeah.
The
wait, this is my Aladdin. This is my Aladdin cosplay.
Monk.
24 months.
It's your
Has
Aladdin
it really been that long?
Thank you for that resub, Nick Nar. Greatly appreciate that. And yes, 24 months. We've been affiliates for 2 years now, guys.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Seriously? Oh my god!
2 years. It started 2 years ago. And we were invited right away. So, but thank you so much for that. And Kane, we did hear yours. I think you'll hear it on the intro. But yeah, the alerts are turned off on the intro portion of it. But we heard you in there. So. Thank you all for all the resubs, guys. Anything else, Talas, that you've been up to?
No, that was pretty much it. Real life is good. In-game is good. I did finally get my car. It arrived from Japan and has been an absolute blast of a project. And I'm learning a lot of new things, like how to fix old cars, because I've had nothing but new cars for the last couple years. And I fixed them by taking them to the dealership and then getting free coffee, not grabbing wrenches, removing my starter to change something in my transmission.
Hashtag first world problems.
Yeah.
Tim, what have you been up to in game?
Mostly catching up, because one of the nice things about my gaming habits is that I have a tendency to stop mid everything and just look at the next shiny thing. I don't think it helps them, with my work that I do. But over these last couple expansions, all I've been doing is catching up. And I finally hit 70 or max level, let alone 70. This is the first time I've hit 70 or max level with any class.
Okay.
So I'm super excited about that. And here I am trying to get my my cleric up to 70 now. But that's mostly a side project because I'm grinding out trophies.
Okay. Oh, it's because you play on the PS4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, what are these trophy
I
things?
literally needs. I need one trophy. Well, I need a couple. One trophy, and then I'll just grind the crafting ones. It's annoying.
Yeah, I have all those done now. I finished those last night.
Nice.
Making 1,000 from every job.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just need the crafting ones and 1,000 leaf quests.
Yeah, because
then I'm done.
With 14, the only trophies are actually from A Realm Reborn, correct?
Yeah, it's why one of the raid trophies is beat Coil, but when it means beat Coil, it just means beat Twintania.
Yep.
I still need to do Coil.
Or we can beat it for you easy enough, just say.
Yeah.
Will you beat it for me? Are we still talking about Coil?
Yeah.
I'll help with that. It's fun. But yes, we're talking about Coil, not something else.
Yeah.
Not the massive tower.
No.
Not the massive tower.
Giggity.
Well,
I mean-
Malala felt it's more like small tower.
You didn't even have to ask us to beat that one.
But just like that dead horse.
Just beat it.
Damn, Klaus, kinky.
And I have been leveling my scholar. That's why the fairy is out. I got up to level 64 already. This event has been helpful with that, because I've been trying to run the different roulettes for it to get experience, and this is helping to get tomes with it as well. And running through Circus Tower is a decent way to get some XP with it.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun. Been in game most days. You've seen me streaming here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio on a regular basis. I'm not doing it every day now. I'm trying to take a couple of breaks, because got to make sure to maintain a healthy life balance, right?
How long were you doing that streak of streaming every day? It was like 300 days or something.
Hit 250 days, I think.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah, from January 1st, then 250 days straight. It was definitely a thing. I don't think, I didn't hit 300
Pretty amazed
days.
he kept it up as long as he did.
I was doing it for the community, though.
Again, not talking about the tower.
Oh, Bright Eyes, thank you for that resub. Really appreciate it.
I am 5.
Yes. Speaking of subs, our sub goal to unlock all the things did fall a little bit short, unfortunately. We didn't hit 50 sub points, but we got a bunch of amazing people, a bunch of awesome people following us here. We have a wonderful community, and we wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you guys. So I want to start by saying thank you very much for all of your support over the last, we've been doing this for almost 4 years now. So thank you so much. And we've been able to get the subs for the past 2.
84 years.
I understood that reference.
We didn't want to, but we understood it. And we are still in the process of sending out stickers to everybody who's subbed for the last 2 months for April and May. So if you have not yet sent your address to us, check your Twitch DMs and please send your mailing address to podcast@phoenixdownradio.com so I can make sure to get your sticker out to you and the little note of appreciation.
Rin really liked their sticker, if I remember what they said.
Oh, yeah. Bright Eyes mentioned to me earlier today that they just got theirs.
Yeah.
And Nick Nar, I'm going to give you yours personally. So I'm trying to make an excuse to get together with you guys so I can hand it to you in person. So I've got yours put aside. But I mean, we do have extra stickers, so we're going to keep doing it. If you subscribe to us for the first time, or if you haven't subscribed to us in a couple of months, we'll make sure to get you guys a sticker as well for the first up to 50 people. I believe I have enough stickers for.
Yeah, Sticker Mule has really good quality, Rin.
Yeah.
I do recommend Sticker Mule.
Yeah, the only downside I have to these is they're not the super sticky bumper stickers that you can actually reposition it, but they won't stay on for very long. It doesn't seem so. Just be careful with that. If you'd rather just keep it as a little souvenir or something like that, and pin it on put it on like a computer or laptop, it'll work for that too. So
Small dog.
no, I don't think it'll stick very well on a small dog.
Only large dogs.
But
Poodles.
like I said, hopefully we can still hit that 50 sub points goal and unlock all the emotes for you guys, so you can show them all off. Show off all the coolest emotes to all the other Twitch channels because we have the best emotes, right?
All praise Lava Scorpion.
Exactly.
Oh, praise Lava Scorpion.
And I want to make a special shout out to everybody who subscribed to us the last 2 months. Nick Nar, Kane Thorbreaker, Aurori, some weirdo named the Real Hot Chili Pepper.
He is an arsehole.
Fair Eyes, Thuragor Gaming, Talon Broadbent, Kiwiness, Cyver Damross, Guilford LOTD, Bright Eyes, Lunavox, Daltrea, Amarlian, Obese Gazelle, Ivy Lake, Jake Bites TV, Rin Q, Super Sugar, Nezco Be Damned, Ragna Sasuke, and Flying Space Unicorn. So thank you so much, everybody. We really do appreciate everything that you guys do for us, whether it's subscribing, whether it's your likes, retweets, all that good stuff. We love it. So thank you very much. All right.
Oh, if we're talking about stuff that's happened off game, then I want to mention that if you live in the North Yorkshire area in England, I recently did a live radio broadcast on a radio station near me on digital air broadcasting, of course. So if you live nearby, hope you enjoyed the show, or if not, you can go catch them on their website to watch listen to the show. It was fun.
Very cool. So moving on to game and community news, let's start with probably the biggest bit of community news that most of us have to talk about, and that is, of course, the Menfita Madness Blitzball tournament. Now, the semifinals are set, but sadly, the Koban Crushers were one goal short of moving on. Those damn Garleans cheated, I swear to God.
The worst.
Garleans were cheating, and I watched that game, and the Sea Chocobos just absolutely stormed, like shots from the goal kind of craziness. It was...
And poor Chocobo, but unfortunately, they also fell short.
They did. They did.
But that's not the end of our story, guys. We are still going to be accepting donations To Write Love on Her Arms on behalf of both the Kugane team and the Gridania teams, because Chile is a representative of the move around. So I'm going to post the links in the Twitch chat. We will be putting it out on the show notes for those of you listening on the podcast as well. We're currently at $2,021 of our three. Why did I post that one twice? I just did.
Because you really want to promote Kagane.
No, I actually overpasted it. So let me fix that. There we go. There's the Gridania team for you. If you want to support either the Kugane Koban Crushers or the Gridania Sea Chocobos, feel free to click on those links and donate to the amazing charity To Write Love on Her Arms. It's all going to support an amazing charity that does wonderful things for mental health awareness and prevention of people hurting themselves with that. So thank you very much for all your support. I mean, the fact that we're at $2,000, almost twice what we did last year for this, it's amazing to see. Again, I still think this community is one of the most gracious in giving and supporting charities like this. So thank you so much, guys. What do you guys want? Anything you guys want to add on that?
I think you really said everything I would have wanted to. It's a good cause. It's something where there's a lot of help and support for a lot of these mental health issues. I know that I've heard a lot of people in the community talking about and sharing their own experiences with it. And that's one of the things I appreciate about the FF14 community as compared to a lot of other online games, is that people are a lot more supportive of and willing to discuss their own experiences with things like mental health, where something like that would be treated as like an unspeakable topic in a lot of other communities.
Yeah.
So that's something that's just really encouraging to me, and I'm really happy to see.
Yeah, you joined Peter from Maelstrom Radio when they were doing a series on mental health, and you gave your story with them, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it a fair bit. I've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, which is well under management with medication, so things are going pretty well for me at this point. But yeah, it's something that it was really nice to see that he was doing that series, and I was happy to contribute to it.
Yeah, it's been a very supportive group. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the support that you're giving to any of these teams.
Seriously.
But yeah, don't give it to the Ishgard eyes anymore. They had more than enough.
Is Saferoth still reading positive Ishgard facts? Because that was pretty funny.
They got a $500 donation, and so that's another 100 facts, I believe he has to read out.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Because it was every $5 they raised or something like that, he was going to read out a fact, or was it every $10?
I forget the exact thing. I just remember it was something where he didn't expect it to be that much, and then I'm not sure if it was a spite donation or if it was like a, hey, this is a thing we really support, or a bit of both.
Probably a
I
little
feel
both.
like
It is
it's.
kind of funny.
I think it's from both.
I mean, I fully understand. I mean, if I could make somebody squirm and suffer that much, by doing something charitable, you damn right I'd do it.
We are very different people, Klaus.
Hey, it's
He
it's
doesn't need money.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I did Extra Life last year and did the Eat Carolina Reaper things, for a certain amount of money. People would drop into the chat just to say how close you are to donate, just to force me to eat them. So, how close are you? $10? Okay, here you go.
I mean, it's like, okay, here's this natural human tendency towards cruelty, and we are at least harnessing it towards something good? ?
right.
Yeah, it's for the children.
Dichotomy.
I actually did eat spicy ramen the other night for when I was doing the spicy ramen challenge, Cloud.
Oh, like, is this like a restaurant that did that, or are you talking about the Samyang stuff?
No, like I actually ordered ramen to my house and then just added every spicy thing that I had and have video evidence of me doing it. So the next time they do a fundraiser, we have this stupid player will eat crazy hot food for you, and we can actually prove that I'll do it.
See, I had that happen to me like a month ago, but it wasn't part of any challenge. They just put way too much garlic in the broth at the ramen place that I liked. Like, it hurt my lips. There was that much garlic in it.
How can you have too much garlic?
Yeah, I've never heard of this thing. What is too much garlic?
Mine was basically sambal with noodles in it. It was brutal.
Lovely. Like I said,
I've heard of too little garlic, but
like I said, I have a package yet of the Samyang Korean 2 times spicy ramen.
I'm going to have to buy more of that stuff. I enjoyed it when I've had it. It was a lot painful,
It was painful because the sauce is oil based, so it sticks on your lips.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
and I was using the whole packet of sauce as well.
Absolutely. Tim, you were saying?
That is a great flavor, though. Like, it's spicy, but it has such a nice flavor to it.
Oh, yeah.
I've never really enjoyed ramen before, and even though that one was tearing up all of my insides, I loved it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I toned down the spice a little bit, but I added some yogurt, which was really tasty, by the way, and it brought out the flavor, and it was amazing taste. The Koreans do an amazing job on their ramen. 2 thumbs up.
But it felt weird that I ordered mine from Amazon, and it came from a bookstore in China.
That's freaking awesome.
It's all about survival.
Concerned but curious.
Yes.
Digital, so they're going to sell ramen.
You've ordered from the Chinese bookstore. I'm like, okay.
Yes, Kane.
God damn it, Kane. Klaus broke my ramen virginity at Anime Detour, that cheeky boy.
Hey, that was some pretty decent ramen, though. There was it's funny because it was actually at a conveyor belt sushi place that opened up like a block down from where where Detour was held. And yes, Ian, this is now the Bon Appetit podcast.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, Brad Leone showing up later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, with some Wooder here and Worder.
God damn it.
The Worder and
Vegas is broken.
Who's better than us, Vin?
We got this, Vin. We got
Vegas
this.
Vegas has broken several of my food virginities.
Oh my! But what happens
Remember,
in Vegas?
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, and then last year I tried Indian for the first time.
All right, moving on. Let's move on.
Food virginities.
The Final Fantasy XIV Storm Shadowbringers benchmark is out. So, damn it.
Stormblood benchmark's out. Good. I bet I get that.
Technically true.
Yes, but the Shadowbringers one is out now too. You can make your own Viera and Hrothgar characters, so you can know what you're going to Fantasia into right as the servers go up. As well as take a look at the new locales and moves from Shadowbringers. The video from that is actually really good. If you don't have the ability to download it, like if you run on PS4 and you don't have a PC that can handle the game, you can actually go out to YouTube and look up the video for it. But what's nice
or you could pester a friend like I did and have them stream it and you pick the things on the character creation.
But otherwise, you can workout day here at PDR. the benchmark, you can also, when you create your character, you can then import it into the video so you can see what your character would look like in there. And you can save it and then import that data right into the game client, which is really nice.
I appreciate that they allowed you to also try on a wide variety of outfits for it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact that the Hawkgras look amazing in Moogle suits. We know that now.
Yep.
Anyway.
Or how cool I would look as a Dark Knight in a spring dress.
Oh.
All right. If you guys
I also, when I was doing it, my mate's like, "Oh, got to the bus slider." I'm like, "Really? Do you have to ask me that?" And like, "Nope." And it's like, "Damn."
No butt slider. Denied.
No, bust slider.
No,
Bust.
Yeah, they've got a bust slider.
Well, we want the butt slider.
I don't really want one, to be honest.
We need the butt slider.
Oh,
Come
I
on.
do.
It's 2019. We slide butts now.
I could find the clip where David Hayter is talking about being dummy thick again in Solid Snake's voice.
That was hilarious.
That
was
needs to
amazing.
happen.
It exists.
Yeah, it exists. He did it for a laugh.
Maybe we can get Kyle Aber to do it in Thancred's voice. That would be kind of funny too.
That would actually be amazing.
I might know a guy. Anyway, so have you guys had fun making your bunny girls and cat boys?
I mostly just checked out really quickly and ran the thing to make sure that my computer was awesome.
Sarah, you've got a 1080. I think you're good.
Yeah, spoiler, my computer's awesome. I don't know how fast these things become obsolete.
Not that fast.
I don't know how to computer.
The moment you buy them.
He's not wrong.
This is why I don't really use a computer to play games anymore.
But it's so much fun. Actually, computers are the technology is not advancing as fast as it used to be. So computers that you bought a couple of years ago are still really good.
Well, that's because we're still in, as I've said before, we're still in this current gen.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a spike until PS5 and Xbox One, whatever it's called, launches.
Which will be sometime next year, but the computer hardware is not going to really take a huge jump either. And I mean, we got RTX, but again, it's brand new cutting edge technology, and it's going to take a while.
And the PS5 supports ray tracing, so
once all of the developers are actually creating content that takes full advantage of that, then we might see
Well, as I said, consoles are going to be starting to support ray tracing. So
much for Glorious PC Master Race. I don't know. Like I said, PC still has the ability to keep up. I am really excited with what's going on with that, but we should create a whole new technology podcast to discuss all of that for all of those comments I want to talk about. Anyway, let's continue on. So we've got a couple events. One going on right now. The Moogle Treasure Trove event runs from now until the start of Shadowbringers. So you can go run out and collect irregular tomestones. I almost said tombstones. Sorry, Sarah. Of philosophy by running certain Realm Reborn dungeons and raids and save them up to get fabulous prizes. I put a link to the page out in the Twitch chat. Again, I said it will also be in the show notes for those listening out on the podcast. Some of the things you can get, the one thing that there's two prizes that are unique to this event. One of them being Namazu earrings. Yes.
Yes.
And then a special map that will guarantee portals.
Yeah, but nothing else.
Oh, is it going to be similar to a Thieves map?
Yeah, it just takes you to a normal port.
But it'll be a normal place, either the canals or the shifting altars.
Yep.
Okay. But to get two of those is 50 of these tomestones, and that's a hefty price.
Yep.
Aside from that, then there's also going to be the availability of beastmen, mounts, minions, a few other things like that.
Which means I'll never have to do a Realm Reborn thingies.
But how are you going to see all the storyline behind it and the cat boy with the leopard print speedo?
I don't know. YouTube.
How are you
This
going
one
to
doesn't care about flying cabbages and their backstories.
How are you going to get that really cool death mask as a face piece?
Yeah, the Sable Eye.
I'm good.
This one
Are you,
disappoints
though?
me.
Are you?
Well, I've done Namazu. I've done Namazu and Moogle, the only beast tribes that matter. And just like I'll do the dwarf beast tribe when Shadowbringers come out, that's a real one.
And again, I say,
Because those are the ones that matter.
no, that's fine. I mean, it's so, like I said, they were the ones that took the absolute longest just because they were time locked and they level up the slowest. But I enjoyed them. I did them. I kept up with them. I think everybody should do them, but Chili doesn't agree with me.
Or just do this event, it's easier.
Yeah,
I mean,
Okay.
or you could do them and then you do this event, but you spend all of your thing on those maps that always make a portal.
or Namazu earrings.
No, don't do that. That's a waste of. I mean, it's just. What is it? It's how many for a map?
50 for 2 maps.
Yes.
That's what?
It'd be 25 Circus Tower runs.
25 Circus Tower runs. Or you could just buy some maps for 20,000 gil.
How likely is a map to make a portal? Because these ones always make a
About
portal.
50%.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really high, and if you get a party of 6 or 7 people and
Yeah.
everybody runs 2, you're gonna go in like 8 or 9 times out of the 14.
Yeah, that was one of the other things I did. I finally got to go to the Uznair places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we
that
took-
was fun.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
nice to
that's
have
so
you with
much
us.
fun.
Yeah, I just always ended up not having time or other stuff was going on. So for the first time, I actually went along and I got to see the magical spinning wheels. And then there were golden Namazu and
Yes,
everything
yes.
was crazy. And we died a couple times. And oh my God, I swear they do the trolling gate open more than the normal gate open.
They
Well,
super do.
and it's
I'm
hilarious.
sorry for that you died, but I hadn't healed for a very long time.
It's fine. It's fine.
And
I
I'm
think
not a
with a
great
full
tank.
party of 8, we would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, we had lost 1. We were down to 5. And Pyrocats, the spinning wheels one he's talking about is the shifting altars of Uznair, the roulette wheel. But yeah, that was a good time. It's kind of nice that they're putting this event in there to get people to run some of this content to help the newer players to get caught up. But I think that the prizes are a little bit expensive for the amount you get.
Oh, they are.
I mean, I think they'd rather err on the side of making sure that there's lots of runs happening.
Yeah, but at the same token, we're sitting over here 2 days in being like, okay, if we don't wipe and we do this mechanic, we can get 10 tombstones per hour if we average 6 minutes a run, as long as we're all blue mages. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, guys, that was not the point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they imagine. If I were designing it, I would be like, okay, there's some amount of people who are going to game the system, but as long as enough people are doing the thing that we wanted, it's fine.
Yeah.
And the people who are doing their crazy blue mage runs, they can do that. That's fine.
It's getting me to run the content more regularly. I mean,
Yeah.
the first day I think I ran 5 Crystal Tower runs alongside of my MSQ roulette. But today I only did MSQ leveling and Alliance roulette. So I mean, I should have enough time to at least get the Namazu earring. Maybe I'll get lucky and get enough to get answers as well, but we'll see. Because answers are
I'm
still a few
mainlining for
million.
answers.
I mean, my main problem is I actually had gotten most of the things through other sources previously.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing you need is the
just
earring.
do coil for answers.
No, good point.
I mean, you could.
It's still super expensive. I mean, you think you've got to get you need drops from Twintanya, Nail, and Bahamut, and I think Nail is the one that gets everyone at this point.
Yeah, but if you know a group, then it's not too bad.
That's a big if, though.
Yeah, and
Well, there's 4 of us here.
All right, BRB guys, we're gonna stream a quick. No, no, we're not.
yeah.
I don't mean, but I'm just saying, like, you know.
No, I know, and it's possible. Like I said, the item is still, like I said, it's a couple million gil on most servers. So there is.
So I mean, you could say, oh, it's super easy, but if it's that easy, it would probably not still be that much.
But it's not barely an inconvenience.
Just think about how much easier it's going to be next expansion as well.
I suspect it'll still be because just from there's the whole if you don't do mechanics you wipe, like you need at least 3 people for T9. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim, have you had a chance to run any of this yet?
He's never done.
Yeah, no, I've been spending all my time grinding, not the tower.
Oh, and doing content?
Yep, that one.
Hashtag
Also
praising.
Hashtag yes.
Anyway, sorry, I kind of rudely interrupted you. What else were you saying?
Poke, Tim.
Oh,
what, me?
Yeah, I said I kind of rudely interrupted you. What else were you saying?
I was saying something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think I was streaming off a bunch of hashtags, but that's not really super important ever.
Fair enough. All right. So that's a thing that's going to be running for the next month or so. So if you're smart, don't grind it too much because it may end up pushing you off the game. That's my concern, but just have fun with it. If you have fun grinding it, go for it.
Don't forget to take care of yourself, same as usual.
And stay hydrated, fam.
My goal is to do a 24-hour stream of Sigur's Tower. So
that feels like the opposite of what we were advising.
But it's,
Chili, you're not helping.
No. Moving on.
You are doing the opposite of helping.
Look, I need 190 times.
If you need to take a break from the Moogle Treasure Trove, on June 6th,
times.
you'll be able to do the Make It Rain campaign. Woo! Make it rain, bitches. So
Yay, that's another grind.
That one starts in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, the 6th.
No, in a week.
Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday, I believe, is it not?
I thought it was like the 16th.
The 6th.
6th. Oh, this is the one that comes with like gold saucer stuff, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this year we get lots of MGP as well as a new Senor Sabatender emote. And then all the other items are returning, and the gold saucer games from last year's Make It Rain campaign will be at a reduced price.
I think everything's reduced, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. But the only new
also remember everything gives bonus MGP as well.
Not like I need it, but if you guys do, by all means, it's so easy to get MGP right now. I mean, you're gonna you can make 1 million MGP like easily during this time frame.
And
I
once you
grinded
have
for
it,
several hours. Like I think I put in like 40, 50 hours to get 1 million MGP last time.
but once you have it, if you didn't do any of the Garo stuff and you still want them, the non-diables, those are going away in 5.1. So this would be a good opportunity to get the MGP to buy those.
That stuff is expensive.
Please don't do that.
Well, buy all the Garo stuff?
Just get the the Wolfmark versions.
That means you have to do PvP.
Yeah, but it means you can dye it.
What if they don't care?
It's worth it, but like I've signed up for a PvP queue and the server was packed and it just sat there and didn't move for 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
think we
well,
got front lines and it was fine and we won.
yay!
But those
is PvP fun then? I only hear from Chili how terrible it is.
It's not great.
I'm fine with it. The skills are balanced a bit differently, so it's worthwhile to go to the Wolf's Den, which is the area outside a lot of the people. It's an area in Limsa where your stuff will be set to those actions, so you can look through and see what stuff does. You have kind of a streamlined version of your job mechanics that follows a lot of the same ideas, but is going to be a bit simpler. And yeah, it's actually not bad. I've been lucky enough to play in games where there was usually someone who knew enough about how it worked to give the rest of us directions.
Yeah, it's good when you get that.
Yeah, the biggest difference, there's multiple types of PvP. You've got, the 24 or 72 man versions where it's team v team v team. There's also then rival wings, and then there's the Feast, which is the 4v4 stuff. That's the stuff that a lot of people have issue with because it's very competitive, and if you're not on their level, people are very salty about it. But I would say that the Shatter, Seize, Slaughter, that kind of stuff, that can be fun.
Just remember, you can't select your PvP if it's one of those. You have to have whichever one's in roulette that time.
True. Very true. So some weeks you'll get Seal Rock, some weeks you'll get Shatter, some weeks you'll get, or some days you'll get.
Yeah. It changes at resets.
Yep, every day. So give it a try. See if you like it. There's a lot of stuff that is Wolfmark only. Like there's some minions, mounts, hairstyles, glamours.
One of the best minions, the cheerleader minion.
Yep, cheerleader minions on there, as well as the lamp minion or the little lantern minion.
I haven't seen that yet.
And don't forget that your PvP class might be different than the class that you normally play.
I remember the gear doesn't affect your PvP.
Which is the nicest part about it. As long as you're level 30, you can queue up for it.
Ooh.
Yes.
I at least need to do one match for a trophy, but I've always wanted to check it out.
Yes, go for it. I think you actually do get experience points from it as well if you're not
Yeah,
already
you do.
top
it's
level.
reduced from what it used to be, but yes, you can still get.
Well, yeah,
XP.
because people were
Bots.
just farming that.
Yep, bots.
Go for it. Let's go.
All right, and then coming up in a couple of weeks is the big E3 convention, and SE will be there. They're actually taking over Sony's spot during the live event, so there's going to be a lot of stuff going on for Square Enix, and you damn well better believe that Shadowbringers is going to be represented there. There's going to be the playable battle challenge pitting players against Titania, the Fairy Queen, as well as Producer Live Letter 52 will be held June 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Pacific. So you can check that out. We're going to get a lot more information on the upcoming expansion. And I posted information into the notes as well. So if you guys want to check that out. There's going to be a lot of stuff that Square Enix is presenting. I mean, not only Final Fantasy based, but we're actually going to see the first views of the previously announced Avengers game. That's going to be interesting. Interested to see what they come up with. Crickets? Other thoughts?
What's that? Sorry.
What about the Avengers? Oh, right, the superhero.
Oh, yeah. Avengers, ho! That's the phrase, right?
You're not interested in that?
No, not really.
I completely am not interested.
Okay. I just thought it was cool that their Crystal Dynamics team was working on a game for Marvel. So
It's
Well, if it's Crystal Dynamics, I'm excited, but I'm not excited about the fact that it's necessarily Avengers.
No, a new Crystal Dynamics, and just that I'm trying to. I'd like to know what type of game it is. Is it a first-person shooter, third-person shooter?
It's a third-person cover game that the leak was, wasn't it? So
I didn't actually get to check that out because they pulled it.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna get excited until we actually see it. That's why I'm like, I love the Avengers, but until I actually see any gameplay, I'm not gonna go, "Yay, Avengers!"
Like I said,
I can be a Hulk.
What comes of it, and plus we are also going to get a lot more news on the Final Fantasy VII remake. You know,
It's been a bajillion years.
Eventually, that game's going to come out, and it doesn't really matter how good it is. It's just going to eventually come out, and then they're going to be like, "Crap! What do we tell people about now?" Because we finally can't just milk this.
Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16.
Come on, remake, just come out. We support you. It's fine.
I mean,
Final Fantasy 16, formerly known as Type 0, Chapter 2.
God,
Well, no, 16 has been done by
Not to
Yoshi
be
P,
so
isn't
bad.
it? Which is crazy.
Has that been formally announced?
Well, he's working on a new project, isn't he? So,
Well, I mean, I suppose Division 3 is the Final Fantasy stuff, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. I can never.
I mean,
keep
what
all
else
that
are we going to
straight.
get? A Dragon Quest game at this point?
Well,
They already have a whole separate team doing that stuff.
but he might be in charge of all that now too, because they restructured all of their business divisions.
And there is a Dragon Quest announcement coming
Yeah.
soon, so there might be something at E3.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it might be an announcement for an NA release for builders too.
Oh, good point.
So lots
Or
to
we
think
already
about.
got that.
It'll be we got
Chile,
builders.
Chile,
I think we got builders, but not builders 2 yet, right? I thought builders 2 was only in Japan. I could be wrong. But yeah,
July 12th.
Oh, that's when it's coming out?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's why we rely on you, Chili.
It's in 40 days. You can pre-order it now to get a free magnet sheet from Game.
Thanks for
I'm
the
good.
offer.
By the way,
but I'll have to
are you
pass.
bringing up the Amazon thing about pre-orders
What?
or not?
What are
You know
talking
Amazon Europe.
about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, Amazon Europe have changed their pre-order policy, so again, keep an eye on this for America. Yeah, in case they change the American policy eventually, because I think it's Amazon Europe and Amazon Japan that have changed this. Before, when you pre-ordered the game, you'd be charged a couple of days before release. The new policy is that as soon as you pre-order, you're charged.
Which I'm all right with that.
That sounds way better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would pre-order
I'm
a game.
pretty sure it's changed too.
No, they still don't charge you until they ship it. I know, like the SE store, you can choose to have them debit it early. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Amazon, but I know in the past, pre-orders, they don't charge until they ship.
Shop 2, which is another company in the UK, if you pre-order from them, you actually have to click a button to say, charge me later. So
they will charge you when you make the order?
No, well, unless you click the button saying
Unless you
please
click the
charge
button.
before. Yeah.
Like
So
I
make
said,
sure you click that button.
I'm okay with them charging right away. Because that way,
Yeah.
when you buy it, usually that's the time when you got the money, right?
Well, no, it depends. Like E3, you'll see a lot of people pre-order stuff because they're really excited.
Or there's a bonus that they get with it.
Yeah. So they might not have the money at the time. They're just pre-ordering it because they want it when it comes out.
Or they might start doing like what GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy do, and they'll make you put $5 down.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That sounds awful.
All right. And then Sarah was
Yeah,
kind
'cause
enough. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No, I'd say it's anything to do with GameStop. So yeah,
Oh.
awful.
But I was going to say, Sarah then put together a wonderful gacha roundup because we haven't had one of those in a while.
Woo! I don't know how much people necessarily care about that, but
Hey, people still play those games.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy Record Keeper has just started the second act for their record dungeons. That's including some, rather than just having stuff taken from one of the Final Fantasy games, they've got some FFRK original fights and storylines. There's an ongoing Realm event that does feature FF13 and Hope. We are anticipating the Summer Festival coming up soon. And in Japan, they've just introduced a new 7-star Synchro Soul Break. So power creep's going to creep. And people are already excitedly speculating about what that could mean. In Dissidia Opera Omnia, the World of Illusions Ultimate Ifrit has arrived along with summon boards as a way to power up your characters. Kefka's Lost Chapter will be beginning in a day or two, along with something called Perfectum, Lost Chapter Trials. It's believed that this is going to be similar to a thing in Japan where we are able to get a 15 CP weapon for a lot of the previous LC characters. So you'll be able, especially for players who are a little bit newer, they'll be able to get a lot of that stuff to help bring those people up to speed and make them more useful in the current era. In Mobius, Chapter 4 of the Warrior of Despair storyline has just begun. There is a special set of bonus quests for the next week or so, focusing on making improvements to Maya jobs. And for the whales and porpoises out there, they are running a special campaign this week where purchasing Magicite will give you a Supreme Summon ticket that gives you a guaranteed summon of a Supreme card or an Ultimate Hero.
I'm not going to buy any.
That makes me happy.
In Brave Exvius, the story is continuing with Chapter 8 of their second season. We do have new summer beachwear units featuring Fina, Lid, Folka, and Citra. And there's a Final Fantasy VI event going on centered around Figaro Castle and Edgar and Sabin. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on in that one at the moment, but
I want a
know a lot of...
Kefka and a bikini character.
No.
Kefka in a bikini needs to be the next emote slot that we unlock.
No.
Come on,
But
Sarah,
yeah,
you know
expecting
you want
to see a bit more in the way of various summer festival type things as we start getting to, especially I want to say around August is when Oban would usually be.
it. Moonfire Fair!
Something like that. And yeah, that's what we've got going in the gotchas right now. I think there's a couple games that have been discussed on the horizon, but until I get more details on that, today was also the kickoff at the library for our summer learning program, so it was a little bit busy and I didn't get a chance to look into that.
Oh yeah, Nick and I are saying that Distant Worlds 5 dropped yesterday. If you have
Shit, it totally did. Hang on. I'll be right back.
If you have Amazon Music Unlimited, you can listen to it there. That's their paid music service. Otherwise, I believe it's $30 at most sites. Amazing music, by the way. Strongly recommend.
Oh, by the way, if you're a fan of iTunes, they're actually getting rid of iTunes. So
What?
yeah, iTunes is being it's being changed into 3 different separate applications.
Well, I know they split the podcasts off of it.
Yeah, everything's being split off basically.
So doing Apple Music,
yeah, I'm
Apple
seeing
Podcasts,
several orders.
and Apple Video.
Yeah, Apple Video and Apple Music.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Instead of having it all under one umbrella, but I'm wondering if you'll still be able to use the iTunes.
Yeah,
interface.
apparently their pages on Facebook and Instagram have been scrubbed of all their content just days ahead of their Worldwide Developers Conference. The Instagram account currently directs to Apple TV. Anyways.
That's not shady at all.
Yeah, I mean, if they're planning an announcement anyways.
All right. I guess that covers our very lengthy discussion of the gaming community news. But I mean, it's good to know there's a lot of things happening within the Final Fantasy realm. It means things are going well. So let's get into the meat of our discussion topic today, and the reason why we have our guest Tim joining us today. The Final Fantasy XIV media event happened about a week and a half ago, and the embargo was lifted recently, and somebody is smashing things over at Sarah's place.
Yeah, let me find out what's going on with that. I'll be right back.
Stop fapping in excitement about the media talk.
Oh my.
It's good news, but not that good news, okay?
All right. Tim was lucky enough to be able to be invited by Square Enix to fly out to San Francisco and take part in the event live. So, Tim, why don't you tell us all about your experience? What was it like?
Kind of daunting, just because as I preluded a little bit in the beginning, I have been spending most of my time with Final Fantasy XIV over these last couple of years, like just basically playing catch up between all the other things I've been doing. Excuses aside, I have not been to 70 with a single character, so I don't know like the extensive level, like the intrinsic details of this game. I know what I've seen, and I know what I played when I first reviewed A Realm Reborn decades ago. So it's been, a very steep learning curve getting back into the full swing of things, even though I've been kind of back and forth for the last few years. So when I walked into the event, I was very nervous on that end, because I expected everybody who was there, was going to be, super learned in the Final Fantasy XIV. So I soon learned, however, that I was like middle ground.
Quick check-in. My landlord is taking care of some important repairs, so I am going to have my microphone muted for like the next 10-15 minutes or so. My apologies.
All right, no worries. If you have things that you want, you're going to still be listening in, right?
I'll still be listening in.
All right, so if you have something you want to interject, by all means, please do.
Absolutely, but I would rather not subject you to the noise of his hammering.
Thank you for checking on that, Sarah. Anyway, sorry, right, Tim.
Awesome.
Continue.
Please continue.
Also, so I soon realized that I was basically middle ground, where there were plenty of people that knew every single thing about everything, and then there were people that were just there because they had to be.
Yeah, they were the
So
ones that
I
were
did-
invited from other news outlets that and went because nobody else wanted to go.
Yeah. So it took me about half an hour to feel comfortable in a sense, and it was nice after that because the venue was absolutely gorgeous. It was like a almost like a dinner venue. You stepped in and everything was the shade of like red and purple and not dimly lit, but low lights, like the full ambiance, candles on the tables. It was I took pictures.
Yeah, I saw some
Delicious.
of those. You sent a couple to me, and it looked like a beautiful venue. They
Actually,
do a good
since
job. with it.
it's past the thing, I can send that. To the group here. But yeah, like the whole venue was just gorgeous. I took pictures of pretty much everything I could.
You know, Tim, you should write an article on it and put those pictures in there.
That would be hot, actually.
I mean, because I know Gamer Escape when they did a huge series of articles, and because Fusion is like he's real deep into the Final Fantasy world and has been known. Did you get to meet him by chance? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What was his name?
Fusion X. Otherwise, his name is Andrew. I'm trying to remember his last name, but
I think a lot of people like that went on the day after Tim.
Okay.
Like Mr. Happy
Yeah, because
worked
we
a
had
game
press
or went
and
on
then-
Wednesday. So
Okay. I know they did split it up into multiple days. They probably had news outlets on one day. They had influencers on another day. They had content creators on another day.
well, I think the influencers and content creators had the same day. It was the media and influence content creator. Yeah.
Well, it was like many days though, like 4 or 5 days worth. So anyway, so you get there and you get to talk with all these other people from the other news outlets, and I mean, was it a pretty welcoming environment?
Yeah, the staff was great. Everything was like out in the open. There was no sort of like I don't know. I've been to a couple press events, and sometimes everything is kind of discreet and kind of out of the way. So like if you want to find something, someone has to direct you there. But everything was in this big room, and everything was open, and assistants were everywhere. They didn't need to be because everything was so point and click, as you would say. Everything was very open, very accessible. It was great. But the staff was everywhere, willing to help, and they were all just fantastic. I got to meet Aya. I took a picture, and Chili. I ended up sending it to Chili, and he said, "Oh, is that Aya?" And he told me about Aya, and then I had to go talk to her.
Yeah, Aya's amazing, isn't she?
And then she's like, I don't know who Chili is. I'm like, oh.
Oh, she's great. I actually ended up running an instance with her.
Sweet.
It was awesome.
Is that when you were running Dolmeg?
Yep. We both ran dancers because #never enough.
Well, she is the dancing fighter.
Yeah.
Dancing queen.
Yeah, go check her out on twitch.tv/dancingfire.
Yep. I put a link to your article when you ran the Dolmeg instance. So if you guys want to check that out.
Ooh. Yes, please. Thank you.
Don't worry. I'm going to be posting all of your articles. So what were your first thoughts when you actually ran that instance? I mean, we've seen pictures. It's a very bright and pastel looking landscape. I mean, what's it like when you're actually immersed in it and playing the game?
The first section just screamed Alice in Wonderland.
Were you missing the Cheshire Cat though?
Well, always. I pretty much miss the Cheshire Cat everywhere, but even in real life. But yeah, I don't know. It was just gorgeous. I've run everything I can now apart from raids in this game, and
okay.
I don't know, man. Like nothing really matches up to how gorgeous Domeg is. I don't know, man. Maybe it was just the euphoria of the event that did it for me on top of it, but man, it was. I love that.
It's a beautiful looking dungeon from the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like the video you posted on our YouTube. The PSU. Whatever.
Not
whatever. Curious. This video is in the article that's already posted in the chat.
Yeah.
But the first time I did play it, I ended up not playing it with a person because I was just super shy. And the nice thing about anxiety is that it keeps me from talking to people.
So did you run the
And
trust system?
I did. I ran the trust system a few times with a few classes, and dude, even though the trust system has issues with like complicated scenarios, I adore it. I absolutely adore the trust system.
Yeah, I posted
like there are a lot of great things coming in this expansion, but I think the biggest one for me is the trust system.
Yeah, I posted a link to your trust system article.
Kisses.
I read in an interview that Yoshi did that the trust system is actually the way that the trusts work is it's based off of their personalities.
Yeah, that's from Work to Game, if I'm rightly. They did that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it might have been you that told me that. Otherwise, I thought I maybe saw it on Gamer Escape. But would you agree with that?
I could see it. Yeah, each player that can come along plays a specific role,
like
or a specific class. So
Alice steals your limit break and runs into the middle of things. Ishtola will sit in an AOE to for her deeps, and Urian J is gonna be like and just raise them.
Yeah.
So I saw some of that. I saw that Alice apparently likes to rush into battle, and then Oriange or Alphinaud will resurrect her at incredible speed. But they're saying that Y'shtola will actually dodge out of stuff, and I think he said if her stuff gets interrupted too many times, she'll go ahead and do the triple cast thing to get a big burst to make up for it. But it's stuff where they talked about not just being smart AIs, but the characters acting the way they would personality-wise.
They wanted some
and he
flavor.
did comment that Uriange will give you all the cards.
Yeah. Give me all them balances.
And I'm not sure what pictures have been posted of it, but in the demo that we had, there were 6 slots and only 5 characters were present. So there's a slot left for one more character.
Was Minfilia in that group?
No, the 6th slot is Y'shtola. The 6th slot is Y'shtola.
So what slots did they show?
Oh my god, Alphinaud for
Alice, Thancred,
Uriange.
That's it. And Minfilia.
Alphinaud, Alice, Thancred, Uriange, and who's the fifth?
Where the hell's my notebook? Give me.
Minfilia is the child.
Oh, should we like to, as people call her, Ninfilia, because she's a ninja now.
Okay. So yeah, then the 6th would be Y'shtola.
Yeah.
Who is not a full black mage, but is a witch, I believe I heard it called.
Yeah, she's like, because isn't she taking over for the witch?
Well, she was called Matoya in the trailer.
So. Yeah, exactly.
So if she is being a witch, someone might have referred to her in Matoya as kind of like a cute nicknaming thing as well.
Yeah, and Matoya may actually be a title, not just a name.
Which would be super, super cool.
Yeah.
Also,
which is what I guessed.
I want to shout out my friend Spender, who also predicted that Y'shtola would be not quite a regular black mage, but maybe something like a witch, which would be a variant several months ago. I want to, I had the conversation saved somewhere.
Props, totally Spender.
Yeah, because her weapon looked different. I thought it was a bit weird.
And
it looked like she had 2 weapons instead of just like a staff.
In general, it's good to assume that not every NPC is going to be the exact same classes that we are.
Well, look at Thancred. He played jobs that we didn't even have for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
We did get
I remember, during the, was it the Through the Maelstrom patch thing where we didn't have Ninja yet, but he still decided to show off those moves.
Yeah. Woo. Or what's good? Or General Limza showing off the gun skills.
Maryland,
guns.
I mean, she's been packing those guns since 1.0.
Yeah, she likes packing them guns.
That's super smexy there, Tim. Seeing the pictures you posted in the Discord. I'll figure out a way to get those put out. If you don't mind, I can maybe get them put into our show notes so people can.
Yeah, these are pictures I can post publicly. I have a bunch of them that I took for reference that I'm not supposed to.
Okay.
But I'll make sure I don't give you those.
Yep, no problem. So anything that you post in our Discord, I'll add into the. I'll figure out a way to get put in. Maybe I'll work with you to get a write-up or something if you wouldn't mind. I don't know if you can put it on our website, but I'll figure something out. I want other people to be able to see these things as well.
Would you guys like to see the clock that I got from Square Enix?
It's so cute.
He got the fat chocobo alarm clock. They're really cool. Very nice.
Well, supposedly it's the same room, says as they'd had the escape room in.
Yeah, when they had, I thought it looked familiar. I looked at some of the other images posted. I compared the address to the one I remember. And yeah, in San Francisco, there's a particular building that they used for the escape room game, the Final Fantasy XIV themed one. And it's the same building. Like even the elevator that they were, the old fashioned elevator they were pointing out on there, it's the same one from there. I wonder if they just really like that building or something. Or if they maybe have some kind of special deal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna rent this from you 3 times a year for random stuff. Yeah. Here's money now. We get it on these weeks.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, businesses will do that.
There was definitely some stuff about it that was distinctive enough that I went back and checked it. Pretty cool.
So aside from that, you had gotten a little bit of sit down time with Yoshida. How did that go?
Yeah. I was intimidated because as I've said a couple times now, I only have so much knowledge in this game, so it was really tricky for me to come up with questions, and Chili helped me quite a bit with a few questions, and some of my issue that I had with some of his questions is that there was no way for me to talking about the way I asked it.
Tim, interrupt. You cut out a little bit there, so could you repeat?
This is my nightmare.
We lost you when you were talking about Chili's questions.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah. He gave me some questions, and the issue that I was having personally with them is that I didn't have a way to properly convey them because I didn't exactly understand every aspect of it. So in an interview aspect, it was kind of awkward to think that I was going to be asking these questions and then having to worry about probing questions, and I'd be like, well, I don't know. Here's something super specific. Are you going to do anything with relics? Are you going to have them like this? And then well, what did you think? I'm like, well, I didn't. So yeah, I had some, but I did have some experience with Palace of the Dead, so that question came in they were going to do more deep dungeon content for Shadowbringers. Also, the whole time I was there, I kept calling it Stormbringers, and I hated myself for it. I kept saying Stormbringers.
Just say you've been watching too much Avengers, and you got mixed up between Shadowbringers and Stormbreaker.
I could always just stay within the realm of Final Fantasy XIV and say that I got the SB expansions mixed up.
Well, I mean, I do it all the time, so don't feel bad.
Stormbreaker. That also sounds cool. I hope that's not the next one.
Because we need a third SB, right?
Yeah, you never enough, I guess.
Steel Bonder, because we're going to Garlemald.
But he's super chill.
Yeah.
I've met a few, quote famous people. I've met a few famous people, and they all have this sort of present yourself persona. Well, when you walked in, he's like, "Hey, I'm Yoshi P." It's he just gave off this super welcoming sort of natural persona, and it was great. And every time he gave you a question, he gave you an answer. It was never even if a question was a yes or no question, it would be this extravagant, deep, long answer that came from multiple facets, and it was great, just great. I didn't know much about Yoshi P going into this. I knew who he was, what he did, and that he was involved with the community. But seeing him in action, talking about the things that he talked about in such intricate detail without any sort of reference was just impressive.
Yeah.
The fact that he is in such command of that knowledge, let alone involved in all of it, just blows my mind.
Yeah, he's all the decisions he knows.
The impression I've gotten is that he is a very thoughtful person, someone who enjoys a lot of discussion and conversation and getting into a lot of the weeds on the philosophy behind game design or the idea behind this. He seems like the type of person who really relishes getting into that kind of conversation and thinking about those things.
Oh yeah, every decision because a couple of the questions that my because I was in a team of 3 that came in. They were doing rounds of interviews, and I was in this group of 3, and the other 2 were much more versed in the narrative, and they were asking questions like, why were they deciding to do? I can't exactly remember. I fully intend to go through and write and copy through all of the questions and things, but I just have been between a lot of things right now. Anyway,
life is busy,
and life is depressed. Been half my life right now, but I mean, I transcribe. I kept stumbling on the word. That's the word I'm looking for. I've been fully intending to transcribe it. I'm going to get to that pretty soon. I'm probably going to start doing that tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing your article on that.
Yeah,
but
I'm looking forward to it as well.
I just want to reach out to those 2 colleagues because I'm going to make sure that it's okay for me to use their questions before I use theirs. But we exchanged. How did she say it? She said that we exchanged adult trading cards with business cards.
Nice.
Oh, and then she told me that I was the only person that's ever laughed at that joke. So I felt pretty good about that.
Why would no one else laugh? That's funny. That's what it is.
Apparently, it's depressing to a lot of people. I don't know.
You can laugh at depressing things.
That's the way we cope. Hashtag.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
This just came up with someone else. Like, I have hung around emergency room doctors. Oh my god, the jokes. I can't repeat any of them ever.
No. Isolated incidents. Hashtag.
Can you share with us another one of the questions maybe that you asked of Yoshi so we can kind of get a little bit of a sneak peek?
No. Oh my god. The last question, I don't know why I'm spacing it so hard right now. Maybe it's just the on the spot feel I'm getting.
Sorry.
But no, that's just my anxiety. It's not your fault. The last question I asked was pertaining to Deep Dungeons.
Whoa.
And he said that they're obviously going to keep the current content, but they're going to spend the next month. I think they have to make a decision by August 30th or something, because he said something along the lines of that's when we start finalizing things for the next expansion. And I lost my shit. Like, you really have to think that far ahead. Woo! Okay.
Yep.
But anyway, I came down from that. And he said what they're going to do is spend some time with the team, like not monetizing, but like narrowing down the work that goes into it, the kind of things they want to do with it, if the team really likes doing it. Because if the team isn't really resonating with the actual work, it's not going to come out as a cohesive product.
True.
So they want to make sure that both the ideas are good and the team is invested in it. And if those things come together, they're going to try to create something. But for now, it's more of like a if-then.
So it's still in development.
It's interesting to hear that because I'm thinking about the whole thing where the team, like where on their own they made it possible for the VR and Hrothgar to wear all those different types of glasses. Like these are not people who are just like putting in their time and getting a paycheck. They care about turning out a good quality product, and it sounds like they want to have that passion in their work, and that Yoshi P recognizes this is something that's key to that success.
Hashtag.
No, I fully agree. This is one of the most passionate groups of developers and video game designers that I've encountered, and it's nice to see it that they take the time to tell us about it, the media outlets, and they share things. They're very open with a lot of their decisions.
Indeed. What Billy was telling me about it a little bit these last couple days, where they had to. They would often yell at Yoshi P because he'd reveal stuff that wasn't supposed to be revealed to the public.
Yeah, remember when he used to come on stage with
press on this?
Yeah, do not show.
But don't show this to the audience. Oh snap! Damn, my bad.
Don't show what this.
When you're the person in charge, you technically get to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
God, he has such a fashion statement. I'm just saying. He knows how to present
gold chains and rings.
He loves it. He loves his bling.
He knows how to present himself.
He's
Hashtag.
an amazing person. Anything else you want to share about your experience there?
Um,
Please
yeah,
look forward to
like,
it.
please be excited. No, I would
All he
like to
wants to
say
say is
that,
26 days to go.
yeah, it needs to be, right, I, okay, I went into this event very, nervous and very, like, um, apprehensive isn't the right word because I like this game. I like this game a great deal. But in hindsight, I was missing something that was really anchoring me down, something to give me like a focus. Like I would look at things and be like, oh, okay, cool, this is a thing. Okay, cool, this is a thing. Like these are all kind of separate entities within this realm that is Final Fantasy. And when I went to the event, like in the things that I learned and things I experienced, and like just seeing Yoshi P in general, it really gave me a sense of wholeness as a product, and then as not just in a product, but as an idea. And I more than anything now, I really want to get super immersed in this game. And then hearing all the details that I heard and the way that they talked about how Shadowbringers is going to change things, I love the sheer inclusivity that's going to be coming with this XPath. Something that killed WoW for me in vanilla. This is just a comparative example. And with WoW is that the original game, the vanilla game, was very specific and stringent, and that's where and in class roles and party construction, and that's where Final Fantasy XIV has been going. So the idea of 14 spreading its availability and the types of different classes that can be played just speaks to me as a gamer. Like I love the level of inclusivity that's coming, and I think that's incredibly important. It makes me more and more excited than I was before. Also in the trust system, I don't know. I just love. I don't know why. I'm so obsessed with the trust system.
Yeah, I was hoping that they would improve on, because we've got a basic version of that with the squadron missions, and those can be really hit or miss. So I'm glad that they've taken and made a lot of improvements with the AI and how that works now.
And we've seen this like with the squadrons, with some of those main scenario quest type things where you'd have the people come along, where it's like, okay, they're clearly testing the waters for this, trying out some basic stuff, seeing how well it works, getting the feedback from that. So you can see that the elements of it have been there for a while. It's kind of nice to see that that's bearing fruit.
Oh yeah. And then in a few words, I love like the too long didn't read aspect. I love the dancer as a class, and I like the gunbreaker as a class. I mostly was playing them because I'm not familiar with them. I was mostly playing them like a kid who was rolling his face on a keyboard. But I kind of got the gist of it, and I really enjoyed my time with both of them. I love the risk reward that the dancer has with its dances, like a lot. Like it's insane. Like when I screwed it up, I'm like, shit. I would actually be upset. But I love the risk reward because the payoffs are great. And
that's also a thing of like good design when even if it's not being laid out how to do it, if you have an intuitive idea of like, okay, now I want to be doing something kind of like this.
So Tim, you mentioned that you don't play this game a ton, but you have been playing lately. How do you feel about the Swordbreaker versus like Warrior or Paladin? Like, do they play very similar? Are they actively different?
I did play the Paladin for a while in Realm Reborn, and in comparison to that and the Gunbreaker is definitely flashier and more involved. Also, the Gunbreaker has a ton of buttons right now, and it's kind of intimidating, but it seems to be a thing where it has like a single target rotation and then an AoE rotation, but a lot of the procs come off the same actions into the same combos. So it was kind of a learning curve on that aspect, but I still liked it. So I'm super invested in the Gunbreaker, and I think that the difference between that and say Paladin, since I have some experience with Paladin, is that the Paladin is pretty lackadaisical in comparison. And it's just in animations and things, the things you can do, the things that the character does. It's just more fun to watch the Gunbreaker.
Well, a lot of people liken Paladin to being my first tank kind of thing within 14.
No, yeah.
Whereas then you get a little bit more in depth when you get to Warrior, and then Dark Knight added some more levels, and it seems like they're continuing that.
It's kind of hilarious given that Paladin and Warrior are both jobs that you can start out from the very beginning of the game, but that Paladin is kind of viewed as the first one and Warrior is the more advanced one, even though they're technically like both beginner jobs.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying with that.
Right. I know, it's just kind of interesting that even given that, that's still the perception that people end up with.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's very much 1, 2, 3. I mean, all of them have that 1, 2, 3 mentality. We just have to hit your this skill, then procs to this skill, procs to this skill. But then, I mean, if you want to just run it on a base level, that's kind of how it runs. But the intricacies of improving and doing the job better, it's a lot more involved with the different jobs. If you switch, I want to say Paladin's a little bit easier to. It's got a lower, higher floor, but a lower ceiling.
Lower barrier of entry, but also lower ceiling to go with.
Yeah. Whereas Warrior, you can get into it, and the ones who are really good at it, it takes a lot of work. Dark Knight is the same, and it seems like Gunbreaker is going to be another one of those that has a lot of areas to improve upon.
Yeah, and they'll be tweaking a lot of that with the new stuff as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're still tweaking until they release the patch.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be tweaking after that because there's no better QA than the general public.
Very true. Do you plan on leveling up one of the new jobs to take it through the MSQ, or what's your main going to be, do you think?
I think my main is still going to be my Summoner, just because the changes that they're doing to Summoner are just decadent.
Did you get a chance to play that?
Not too much, just because I wanted to focus on some of the bigger new stuff, because I only had a certain amount of time. Plus, the people I was talking to ended up getting me into checking out like Samurai and Machinist, because I didn't really give them a chance before, and especially Machinist, like the changes that they're bringing is just.
Oh yeah, it looks like a whole new.
No more RNG. Fuck you.
Gimme.
Yeah, that was one of the things that kept me from playing Machinist, because it just seemed like a job that it wasn't intuitive to me. But the
instead
changes...
of 1, 2, 3 like every other job, it was 1, 1, 1. Oh, a 2. 1, 1. Oh, a 2. Oh yeah, 3. 1.
I mean, proper use of your bullets could handle that, but there was definitely some stuff where it felt like you're like being actively punished for not doing certain things right, and that could be frustrating.
So now, hopefully, with the new actions that they give it, it will help it to be a bit more of a refreshing.
Well, not just that, but
job.
they've got rid of most of the stuff that's annoying anyway.
Yeah,
there's no more bullet system. There's no more heated system. There's no more.
Technically, there's a heated system. It works a bit differently.
Yep. You want it to grow.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing is you get to choose when to activate it.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the big things about the old one, was like you could very easily activate it by accident by forgetting to like reduce your heat or do other things at a certain point. Like that's one of the things I talk about. It's like, oh, you accidentally made a mistake, and damn it, you've overheated when you didn't mean to, and now you need to try to do something with this because you're about to lose your Gauss barrel. That was frustrating. Yeah, I spent a good bit of time over the last few days just reading through all of the different actions and traits, so I feel like I've got a general idea of how all the jobs work now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out.
But yeah, it seemed like you guys had a really good time out there.
Big time.
No, I'm happy. That, little contented sigh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and then the things that they talked with you about are a lot of what we end up getting in the live letter a few days later.
Yeah, I don't know what I was necessarily confused, but it seemed a bit odd that they were showing us all this new stuff and then like a majority of the new stuff they just revealed. It's like I appreciate that you brought us up, but what were you exactly doing?
Well, I guess it's so that they can have more people write about it.
Yeah. The impression I got is to like give you a little bit of time to actually see what's going on, synthesize your thoughts instead of like having to write an article as fast as you can in order to beat the others to the scoop and then like messing up details.
And
Oh,
also
yeah.
for like influencers for them to make videos.
Hashtag.
Such as Mr. Happy or Larry Zer or MTQ Capture or Word to Game
Or Phoenix Sound Radio.
or Phoenix Sound Radio.
Who
Well,
dat?
technically we haven't done a video on it, so.
Well, maybe we should get invited to a thing.
So I must admit, Larry Zer, his interview with Yoshi P was my favorite so far. Just not even for his questions, just because how he described the meeting. It was just like so good. It was like we sometimes locked eyes and then I'd look away blushing. He was looking around the room. It's like, it's Yoshi P.
That's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it's really cute how he's done his video on the interview. So yeah,
I could kind of see being starstruck by the guy a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I definitely would be. I mean, I haven't had the fortune to meet Yoshida yet. I ran into everybody else at FanFest in 2016, but Yoshida eluded me.
A little bit.
I met him briefly. We took selfies. I was in my pajamas. It was great.
Yes, and I hate you for that.
That was funny as hell.
The best I did was when we did that bro fist at the end of our Phoenix Down episode. Remember?
Oh, that's right. You did get to snag as he was walking by.
Yeah, he was walking past.
Yeah, that's as close as I've gotten to Yoshida, is him walking by the back of episode 29, which you can go check out on our website or YouTube.
Yeah, I've never actually met any of them at FanFest though.
I gotta tell you, like, I hope you guys get a chance to meet him. But when I first walked into the room to meet him, I thought it was gonna be super daunting. But he was so welcoming. Like, he got up and met us and shook hands and talked to us and things, as well as he could on his own. And it was just so the first couple seconds broke down any sort of like hierarchy or high expectations or anything. Like, I shouldn't say that, but like any of those stilted feelings that you would expect from somebody of like popularity. Like, it was it was like, he's just here for you. It's not just like you're there to watch him talk about shit. Like, I loved it. He did such a good job of bringing himself down to earth for our sake, and it never felt like we were watching, somebody famous talk about things. It was like we were watching somebody talk about something they were passionate about, and it was just absolutely fantastic. I have such in the 45 minutes that I sat in there with him, I gained a profound respect for him that I don't think can be matched about anybody else in the industry. And I have a lot of people that I look up to in this industry. I can't think of anything else that could possibly break that.
Like,
it was great.
I've always wondered, like, they back when 1.0 was going on and they were having all the issues with it, that he apparently like managed to, like, I've always wondered what exactly he did that convinced them that, yeah, we can turn it around and this is the guy who can do it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, in retrospect, it seems like obvious, but I mean, knowing that at the time, like, I have to wonder just what is it that he said or did to them that convinced them.
This was the first game that he was the producer and director of. I mean, he'd worked on a number of games before this, but I mean, this is the first game that he took the reins on. If I remember correctly.
He really nailed it.
I believe so. I'm checking what other work he's done.
I mean, he did a lot of work on some of the Dragon Quest games. I think he did some work on other Final Fantasy games and other Square Enix properties. But like I said, this, if I remember correctly, and like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he had done, this was the first one that he was the man on.
Yeah. He was the director for a couple of the Dragon Quest games, was special thanks on a couple others. Division executive. Oh, hey, he was Division executive for Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Interesting. Special thanks, very special thanks. He's gotten special thanks on a lot of others, but yeah, this was the first one for which he was actually the producer.
But yeah, he knocked it out of the park, and he's just doing an amazing thing. So
He's doing all the work.
yeah, I mean, what he's done for this game is
looking at his Wikipedia article, then company president Yoichi Wada attributed this decision to Yoshida's experience, charismatic leadership skills, and passionate will to satisfy customers.
Yeah. Rin Q in chat saying, so we can safely say Yoshida is the true warrior of light.
Truth.
Absolutely.
I feel like he would argue with that. He seems like the type who'd want to share the credit.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean,
oh yeah, no, he would. He'd give you a long answer onto why he's not.
Yeah,
that definitely sounds like Yoshi.
That's one of the reasons we love him.
But yeah,
modesty is the best policy.
Hoping 2020 will break this streak and I'll be able to actually meet the man, shake his hand, and tell him thank you for everything he's done for this game and community. So,
meet the man.
Have you considered just showing up at his house?
Do it.
I don't have.
What could go wrong?
I'd be arrested.
You don't know
Besides
that.
I think I will.
I mean, they might drop you at the scene.
Anyway, we lost to Chili. Where did you run off to, bro?
He went to go get Tim.
Trying to get Tim, but you're not an older Tim. You've missed.
Here I come.
We're trying to get Tim to join us in the game now. He was joining us remotely for a good chunk of this. So we're trying to get his
Okay,
avatar
1 second. Tim, click on this crystal.
I found a short Aladdin.
We've got a stream crasher.
That's all right. It's all good.
Then click visit another world and click Hyperion.
Chocobro on in the chat saying it's nice to hear positive things about the upcoming expansion as people in the main free company have been negative. You know, honestly, I've been hearing a lot of the same things. If you go to sites like Reddit or even the official forums,
don't stay in Reddit for more than 5 minutes though. You might get a heart attack from all that salt.
You're not wrong. Without
God damn it. I log in to get the fashion report and then get out. That is the only thing I use Reddit for.
Well, we have a Rory to put that in our random room, so you can just do that now.
Okay, Tim.
Sweet, thank you, Rory.
Now go to your friends list, click on Klaus and Estate Teleport.
But yes, I agree. I've been hearing a lot of people, even in the Facebook group, saying that they are really, nervous because of the sheer number of actions that are being removed from the new expansion. But what they're not taking into account is the fact that it's being done for a reason. We're getting a number of new actions.
By the way, it's the free company, Tim.
It's large scale changes. Even if you know all the reasoning behind it, there can still be a little of, I don't know how this will actually shake out. I can understand being concerned about that.
For those who would like to see some more information regarding it, I'm going to post the Gamer Escape, basically their cover article that has links to all the other different articles. One thing, if you want, click on whatever your main job is. They went through and are showing all the actions that they were currently shown at the event, so you can get an idea of what will remain, how it's changing, and give you some ideas to what to look forward to, and then you can make your own decision at that point.
I know some people are talking about how they're already working on trying to figure out rotations and things like that, which feels a little bit ridiculous.
I am working on my rotation.
But some of those numbers are subject to change.
Yeah, but just because the numbers are doesn't mean everything else is.
Yeah. And
I'm not saying I'm working on my best bonuses. I'm just trying to work out with what I've got right now.
Yeah.
Where I'll be putting the new abilities.
They did talk a little bit about some of the changes, both like the Gamer Escape ones, for instance, mentioned a little bit of what each one felt like when they played it.
Yeah.
Others discussed the type of thing as well, and some stuff came up in interviews. So we've got an idea of the general type of thing they were going for. It sounds like they're trying to get to some stuff where it's less locked into a specific rotation. One thing that actually got mentioned for a lot of skills were like gap closers that now have charges and the like. They would talk about how people would be like, I don't actually need to use my gap closer right now, but I need to hit it in this rotation in order to maximize the damage and things like that. And it's stuff like that that they were trying to move away from. Or removal of TP, a lot of stuff being like, why not just let people go ahead and spam their AoEs? And they actually added a lot of stuff to support AoE rotations on a lot more jobs.
Tim,
I
no,
like
you're at the right
that.
place. It's downstairs.
I like that. I think that is an amazing addition to the game. The fact that I don't have to run out of the ability to kill things on a massive scale will be just amazing.
Hey, Monk finally gets an AoE rotation.
Yeah, everybody
It's
gets an
taken,
AoE
finally.
rotation.
Yeah, Ninja has one too.
Well, they kind of
you-
had one, but
I had one already.
Their one was to spam that one skill. Now they actually have a thing that'll let them keep up their haste buff while they're doing it.
Well, the problem with Monk was the fact that Monk had an AoE that rotated into a single target that rotated into an AoE. So
Correct.
it was like AoE, punch one enemy, AoE.
though, I mean, even the Bard one had where you would spam some AoEs, then you'd have to actually put up your single target dots and then spread those around a little bit, go to the next one, but then you would pop the AoEs in there when you could, when they would proc. So I mean, there was never a true 100% AoE one, but
Yep. And they also talked a little bit about trying to reduce the need for synergy between jobs, having something where like you have to have this job because they such as the removing of like blunt or slashing resistance down or things like that. So it's like you don't have to have this job just in order to give the debuff buff and boost these other ones.
Yeah. Though some abilities got new traits because of that, like Dragon Kick, which used to decrease blunt, increase blunt damage, will now give Leaden Fist instead. Which now, after you do Dragon Kick, your next boot shine will do 290 potency instead of 190.
Which means that you want everyone to be doing Dragon Kick instead of foisting it all off on one person.
Yeah.
And Nick and I was talking about his Dragoon. Your rotation is going to become simplified, which will be nice. You don't have a 56 move rotation that you have to keep up.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, Sarah. You want to have a last hurrah for the Butcher's Block combo the day before the patch?
Might as well.
You guys want to come join us over on the other couch? Then we can see everybody.
Tim, on the couch.
You can sit next to Sarah if you would like.
That is a very lovely dress.
Thanks.
I got it crafted for him.
And then Chili, if you want to go stand by.
Fine, I'll stand with the Lalafels.
Well, you have to stand on you're
we
off
have a
screen
potato
now.
couch.
You're on.
Yeah,
you're
dude,
off
you
screen.
have to be like to
There
my
you go.
right.
Perfect. So
Oh my god, we just had those cushions cleaned and reupholstered.
And now there's potatoes all over it.
Which dance is that? Which dance are you Lalafels doing?
I'm doing the harvest
dance.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah. So I mean, they're talking about all the things that are coming up. So why don't we give a real basic overview of the things that were given to us at the live letter? I know a lot of other shows have covered it. There's a lot of articles out there, so we're not going to bore you with all of the details. We'll just talk about some of the greatest hits, so to speak.
Yeah, kind of went through and tried to summarize, get the main takeaways about broad trends rather than drilling down into the details. Now, certainly if you want to come on the Discord server, discuss them with us, drill down into these details, we're happy to. But for now, we're just going to go for an overview.
Yeah, if you guys want to kick in on anything that you want to add to this, by all means, come on to our Discord channel and jump into the PDR call-in channel. More than welcome to have you add your opinion, or your concern, or anything you want to talk about. I'm putting the Discord link in the chat, so go ahead and join us. But let's start with, like I said, we got a bunch of new actions that are coming. A lot of actions are being removed. Press F to pay respects. Like Protect is leaving.
Protect was boring and stupid. You always wanted to have it cast anyway, so the only time it made any kind of difference was if someone died and they needed to Protect reapplied. So it mostly meant that after you died, until someone could reapply it, you were more likely to die again. What is the point of a mechanic where dying makes you more likely to die again? That's not fun.
It was called the previous weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not anything fun about that. And Like, okay, you cast Protect, you always
Even-
have it. Just
even
readjust the
then-
numbers and it drops out.
Even then, it didn't give that much extra defense.
And I mean, you can just adjust the numbers as needed to get the same effect.
And that's basically what they're
Also,
doing.
We miss Stone Skin? Dude, does anybody miss Stone Skin?
I do.
No, because Stone Skin became a job and it's Scholar.
And also Paladin and
Yeah,
Warrior. No, Stone Skin
Shield
became every
dealers.
job now. Every job has Stone Skin now.
But I mean,
Warrior
like,
has
even,
Stone Skin, Gunbreaker has Stone Skin, Paladin's had Stone Skin for a while.
even before that, like, Scholar is pretty much, hey, you are getting these
Yeah.
shields. Scholar was pretty much Stone Skin the job.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
Stone
Yeah.
Skin, the flamethrower.
I will say this. Losing Protect is one of those things that's kind of like, oh, this is an old school Final Fantasy thing we've
Yeah.
had for a while now that we're losing. I'm sad that we're losing it for that. I'm not sad that we're losing it for functionality.
I mean, I went back and looked through a lot of them, and I can't think of that many old Final Fantasy games where I actually cared that much about Protect. The only one where I could make a decent case for was 13.
7.
Whereas, like, you just use Big Guard. But, like, did anyone ever cast Protect if they weren't using Big Guard?
Me? I used to
I
use
mean,
Protect
Anyway,
all
moving
yeah,
on.
it would
Protect
evolve.
is dead. Rip
Like,
Protect.
I have multiple rants about this. I think about game mechanics. I have so many feelings.
I agree, Talus.
I'm still laughing about Stone Skin the job.
Then there's
I'm
Reflect.
right.
There's Reflect. I miss Reflect. I want Reflect.
We've never had Reflect, I think.
I want it.
That would just be too broken. So anyways, some actions have been removed.
The action interruptions, I like the changes they're making for that, making it more viewable, as well as the change to how it works in general.
Yeah, they have just one type of interruption rather than having the separation between stun and silence, it looked like. And they're more clearly signaling which actions are interruptible.
And it is based off of only a couple of different job types are going to be taking care of it. Tanks and ranged physical DPS.
So,
But my
these are the
rage utility says every monk at Never.
You guys are supposed to be worrying about punching things, not worrying about making him stop.
Look,
Did
doing
anyone
things.
ever actually make use of that thing that gives you the...
I do.
Okay, so what?
In what's good in Siryu, I'm the one who silences the heads normally.
Fair enough.
And then I remember back in around Reward days, I was being forced to silence ads. You know, ADS.
Right, I'm just thinking of that one where it's like
Or
the
Chimera.
second part of the combo where you could have the stun that couldn't be resisted.
Oh, you're thinking
Or
of 1 inch
Sentinel
punch.
Weapon.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
Dude, 1 Ilm Punch. Do we use that, or is that just an extra thing?
What did you say? One punch!
One punch!
God damn it.
I'll be honest, I use it to troll enemies in Eureka. Like when we before people were high enough to fight the dragons, but sometimes people try and fight them. I'd hit perfect balance and just spam 1 inch punch so it couldn't actually do anything.
Oh man, it's like the old strategy for killing those treants over by King Mogglemog in 1.0.
Yeah, I'd just I'd use that and just keep it in stun lock with 1 inch punch because it can't resist
Joker
it.
Bro, I think people might have a problem with that. Replacing one ilm punch with donkey punch.
I want kidney punch. Kidney punch. Kidney punch.
I would say this is a family-friendly game, but no one believes that.
Absolutely not.
So anyways.
Y'all been to the Crystal Data Center? Nothing family friendly over there.
So role actions are not going to be customizable. Instead, each role just gets certain actions at a specific level. I think that's going to simplify and streamline a lot of the process of worrying about like which ones are the ones that you bother to use. Just each role, type of role gets actions that a bit more define what sorts of things they do.
Yeah. TP is gone. MP is capped at 10,000. Spells.
Piety now gives you MP Regan.
Yep. You get fixed cost. Yeah.
But Piety still only works on healers. So.
And now it gives them MP regen.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, it gives you refresh. Klaus, refresh me.
No.
I mean, you already have refresh. It just gives you more refresh.
Yeah. And then the fact that all the main stat materia are going to be basically worthless now. So press F to pay respects.
So buy them now. buy all of them
Yeah.
now.
But yeah, the goal they were talking about was to try to adjust the difficulty of gearing up for the various classes, so you have a bit more of a consistent experience rather than favoring some over others.
So buy them all now.
Why?
Well, remember that the goblin will transmute materia. Because he won't be able to transmute the materia into main stat materia. Buy all the materia now and then transmute it when the expansion comes out.
Oh, so use the main stat materia to transmute?
Yeah.
Huh. Not a bad idea.
Maybe you'll get all the crafting materia.
Like Mutamix rolling of materia is the main way I've gotten my crafting and gathering materia.
There you go. So in that way you can stock on it while it's so cheap.
Oh, I've been getting
because
most of
everyone
mine.
get rid of it.
Most of mine have come from red and yellow scripts.
Well, that way you can make a decent amount of money at the start because you can get a load of the new materia if there is any and sell it all.
Well, we'll consider.
Uh,
I mean, don't do what Chili says. Don't buy it. Do not clear out the stocks.
No, Chili just wants to sell all his materia. We know that.
Well, no, I'm not selling mine. I'm doing what I'm saying.
Chili, I could have the market cornered. Shut up.
You didn't even know about it until now.
Yeah. I'm fine with a bit of blatant hypocrisy.
The changes to pets are going to be kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
Eos and Celine are basically going to be one and the same. So
why is that the bit that everyone focuses on? Like,
Scholars...
pets are no longer affected by enemy attacks or PC actions at all.
Well,
Scholar,
no.
do you want glamours? Well, there you go. You now got your fairy eggy glamours.
Yep.
Absolutely. Have a green or yellow or blue or whatever it is.
Well, we all know Eos is the true healer.
Well, yeah, but Celine's bare for raiding.
Rather than having all the different types of pet actions, instead, players are going to have actions that will change their effect based on the summoned pet. So, for instance, summoners will have Eggy Assault 1 and Eggy Assault 2, which will be, for instance, when Ifrit is out, it's a powerful single target attack. When Garuda's out, it's a AoE attack, stuff like that.
And when Titan's out, it's a disappointment attack.
It always was a disappointment.
His Titan has an AoE, but his potency is lower than Garuda and Ifrit.
He's a defensive one, though.
Yeah.
They mentioned a batch of other changes. There's an increase to the damage limit, mostly so enemies can now smack us for 10 million damage instead of 1 million damage when they enrage. Some adjustments to the LB fill rate, various damage potency changes. One that I know a lot of my scholar friends are looking forward to. The party list with the bars for your HP will now have a visual indicator of how much shield you have. So the scholars
Halo,
will be able
everyone.
to see...
We're Halo, everyone.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Seeing the difference there between what's you have for MP or HP versus what's available for the shielding.
Yeah, being able to know
is pertinent.
Yeah, being able to know that, hey, your shield is nearly out, or oh, hey, it's got plenty on it. I think that's going to end up allowing a lot of those shield casting classes, Scholar, and to a lesser extent, Astrologian, to have a good idea of where they should be using their skills.
Yep. And then they made a bunch of talk about some of the changes coming up for the job actions and traits.
Yeah, I'll go over these really quickly, just since I went through and did the summaries on it.
Okay.
In general, there is a rebalancing of roles. They're wanting to adjust that whole concept of synergy between jobs and this concept of the player meta. They did get rid of those damage type resistance down debuffs. Also, the various execution abilities, the ones that would be used when the enemy was under 20%, stuff like that. And the various easier to handle AoE rotations. As part of that, they did get rid of a number of actions that weren't used as much or that were adding these various complicating factors. For tanks, they, rather than the previous one where you had jobs that were better suited to act as a main tank or as an off tank, all 4 roles are intended to be able to act in either position, main tank or off tank. They no longer have offensive stances, and their defensive stance, their tanking stance, is just a pure enmity increase. So whoever's doing the main tank would take that enmity increase and has an easier time holding hate. Each job does have abilities that can be used as an off tank to support the main tank. The healers are focusing a bit more on the healing side of the role. Their DPS abilities aren't removed entirely, but it has been less emphasized in their role.
I'm still a green DPS, damn it.
Woo! There have been adjustments made to cover some of the gaps in each job's repertoire. For instance, white mages, their lilies are now being used to power various instant heals. The scholar revisions to pet actions, including the ability to get that temporary power up with Seraph, as well as the ability to stack a number of their shields now. And a lot of the card effect and stance adjustments for astrologians, including an ability to temporarily use both of their stances as once, as well as rather than having a couple cards that you really care about and then several that you're like, or okay, this is good for that one, stuff that's a little bit more universally usable. And something actually dealing with the progression of cards and the mixture of stuff like that looks a bit interesting. DPS, they said they wanted to try to focus a little bit more on some of the traditional Final Fantasy designs in terms of the field they were going for. Monk, Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Black Mage, and Red Mage are getting some adjustments improvements, but overall those have the same general underlying structure. They actually talked about Red Mage as one where like it was fairly complete where it was, so it only needed minor adjustments. One of the big ones being having an option in place of displacement, so you still have some way to finish off your combo rather than leaping backwards to your doom.
But that's the best part, isn't it?
It's important to finish.
Bard is going to be removing its dependence on crits. The damage over time abilities now just have a chance on their own to trigger those song effects, and they will also build up the soul voice gauge, which can be completely consumed to launch a attack that gets stronger the more gauge you have.
No, I'm not sure that crit isn't going to die in the new meta. But like I said, Bard and Machinist, did rely on crit procs in order to progress within our rotations, so to speak.
Yep.
But the fact that crit really improves the ceiling we have on our damage, I mean, it was important to all the other jobs as well, so I don't see our reliance on it really going away that far. Hopefully, it just makes the job a little bit more easy.
I don't
to
think
play
you'll be
and flows
focused
better.
at all on crit.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. All jobs liked crit because it did turn out to be a powerful stat. But for Bard, it was crit to the exclusion of everything else because it had such an outsized effect on how well you could perform.
You mean my 2770 crit is too high?
Yeah.
Having 775 crit on my bow? You mean I'm not supposed to have that?
There are other stats out there, and maybe a complementary one could help your damage.
Like direct hit rate. Because there is limits on how much crit you can put on before it starts having an effect. Yeah.
See,
but for Bard, any increase to that probability of getting the crit had such an outsized effect on all of their other performance.
I actually
more so than for other jobs.
What?
Crit was one of the more actual linear.
Yeah, but there's still windows.
We're getting a bit into the weeds here.
Okay.
The point is that crit is still important, but it's going to be important around the same amount as it would be for other jobs. Bard was very dependent on it, and that's less.
You're probably going to be looking at crit and direct hit rate next time, probably.
Which is what it is right now, but I mean, it won't be.
But more of an actual balance between
crit
the two.
2 times as much important as the others.
Yeah. One thing I'll mention is that with one of the reasons that a lot of jobs didn't do skill speed as much was a concern of running out of TP if you're setting off your skills too fast. And that's less of
Yoshi P did mention that for monks, maybe don't build skill speed. He said that if you're a monk player, this is again from the Larry Zur interview, the fact that monk was actually his favorite job to work on for the expansion because it helped him come out of his shell for when it comes to working on jobs. Normally, when they make a job, they try to think a couple of expansions ahead. Like, when they're making it, they're thinking of not this expansion, but the next one. But with Monk, they realized they want players to enjoy the job now, so they decided to break their limits, as they said, and put Grease Lightning 4 in the game, even though they thought they still weren't sure about balance. But because of how fast you're going to be going because of it, and because of the skill speed that'll be added because of gear, they said for most players, it's probably not a good idea to put skill speed because you're going to be pressing buttons way too fast.
You don't want to burn out your keyboard?
Yeah.
So going onwards, Machinist is practically a whole new job. It now has those 2 gauges. Heat gauge builds up with your gun attacks, and you can trigger the overheat mode to unlock several powerful attacks. Battery gauge builds up with the use of various tools, a lot like Edgar from Final Fantasy VI.
Woo,
And
Edgar!
and you can use that to deploy a Rook auto turret, or later an Automaton Queen.
There's no Rook Auto turret anymore.
There is. It's just at the maximum level it upgrades to Automaton Queen.
No, it's a little robot still. It is a robot.
It's called Rook Auto Turret in the tooltips, at least.
Yeah, but it's actually a little version of the Queen.
Okay. But yeah, you charge up that battery gauge and use that to deploy your fighting robot, which fights alongside you for an amount of time based on how much battery you built up.
So now are all the machinists going to start hitting on all the pretty women?
Hey, some of them could hit on the pretty men.
Yeah.
Eorzea is very equal opportunity that way.
That's true.
As we know from Yoshi P, who said they're planning to add the wedding dress for men soon.
Oh yeah, he had some very nice statements relating to that.
So I can have my wedding dress when I come back.
And he had some really nice stuff about like a lot of the issues of like LGBT players in general. Yeah. That was really interesting. So Summoner now acquires its ether flow by draining it from enemies, and the pace of the job is a lot faster in general. Demi Bahamut can be summoned after each Dreadworm trance, and after the Demi Bahamut summon, you can enter the Firebird trance to summon Demi Phoenix. Summoning pets is now both free and instant, and the intent is that you're going to switch freely between pets as needed. So if you've got your Ifrit out and all of a sudden you're running into a batch of like large batches of enemies, to immediately be switching to Garuda and laying down those AoE spells.
So you're basically going to be doing a Garuda for the trash mobs. You're going to switch over to Titan to buff the party, and then go right into Ifrit.
Titan doesn't buff the pie.
Well, he does some defensive things, does he not?
He has a shield for the summoner, but that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then you'll buff yourself and then get Ifrit out.
Yeah, it might be reasonable to pull out Titan in order to throw an extra stone skin on yourself, kind of thing.
I don't know what the duration is though, so it might not be worth it. We'll see.
We'll see.
I could see doing it like when the boss flies away and prepares its ultimate attack. Yeah. This might be a good time to call on Titan.
Yeah, that'd be good, but not before a pull if the duration is not
bow down on Overdweller.
But yes, of course, Titan, since pets are no longer targetable, Titan cannot be your tank anymore.
No more chicken nugget tanks.
Yep. And Dancer, the new DPS, they select a dance partner, and they'll be giving themselves and their partner various buffs as they attack. They can perform a standard step or technical step to play a little DDR-ish minigame. They'll then deal damage and grant bonuses to themselves and either their partner or the entire party based on how many successful steps they made.
Now, Tim, when you played that, how well did those steps flow?
You know, in hindsight, I really wish I had moved my buttons around better, because I had, playing on keyboard at the time, and I had one button, like the finale was set to like Control 7, and then I had three of them on like 2, 3, and 4, and then I had one on 9. That's just how it defaulted. I really wish I had reorganized it. So that's my fault. It's not the game, but I got into a rhythm with it, and I really like I mentioned earlier, I love the risk reward of it. I would probably have had even a better time if I hadn't made the game just harder for myself the way I did. But yeah, dude, I love it. I love the risk reward, and putting all of that in the element of combat makes things more interesting as well. It's not so much like, okay, well, hit this one and then hit this one and then hit this one. I would say the downside to it is that you have the long chain is 5 buttons, and since it's random, you end up spending more time looking at the keyboard or at the the bottom of the screen than the game. Like, there's no way to memorize that because it's random. And I would say that that's kind of a downside. I wish there were more of if there were more of a prompt like in the middle of the screen, I'd be happy with it, because you can just memorize where those buttons are on the keyboard.
It's on the fan display, right?
Yeah.
So that UI element typically can be moved if you want to.
Yeah. You can
Oh,
move
good.
that
I
around.
just make everything harder for myself. Perfect.
Well,
Now,
no,
this may have the downside that you have a fan blocking whatever else is going on in front of you. So
yeah, you can move all those with the HUD elements, with the HUD layout.
But it definitely sounds like
The
something where you're
system.
going to want to like take a little bit of time because you do have this little fast-paced mini game that does have that risk reward element.
Fujiwawa in
Yeah.
chat's asking, can you weave dances with attacks, or do you have to do them all in order? Like, do you have to do the entire dance right away, or can you do a step, attack, step, attack?
So I was looking at the descriptions for it. When you start your standard step or technical step, your attacks turn into the dance moves.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can't do you can do certain things like cooldowns and whatever, but most of your attacks just turn into those, or they blank out or something.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
That's also why.
That's
why also Dancer has such high potency moves. Like one of them is you have to do 4. I think it's 4 steps, or is it 5 steps? But
there's one that's 3, and then there's one that's 5.
5 steps, but once you've done that, it has 1,500 potency.
To the main target and half to surrounding.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It also gives a 5
for 63,000.
It also gives a like 5% damage buff to the party on that one, I think.
I think so.
If you do it perfectly.
Plus you have
that DDR.
I can't.
You're doing it.
Plus you have Flourish, which buffs the party as well.
Yeah.
And then you have another ability that gives a 10% damage reduction to everybody too.
Shield
It's a
Samba.
great support class. Yeah, there we go.
Their attacks, in general, like a lot of their attacks, have a chance to become a flourishing version, and the flourishing version in turn has a chance to give you a feather. Feathers can be used on some of your most powerful attacks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I thought was kind of neat was one of the things that happens with the dance partner is a lot of the moves that the dancer triggers gets triggered by the dance partner as well. So, for instance, when you use Curing Waltz, a AoE heal goes off around the dancer, but one also goes off around the dance partner. So they could be standing near each other to give a very strong cure, or they could be separated a good bit, and then you're spreading curing over more of the battlefield.
Yeah, like the dancer is curing the ranged, and the partner is curing the melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot of potential for different types of things depending on who you make the dance partner. Plus,
give me that crit direct hit rate buff, Dancer.
Yeah, the partner themselves also gets a good number of buffs, so I think there's going to be a lot of people very eager to dance with the dance.
Yeah,
with them.
I'm gonna have to find this image somewhere again, but it's you know how it's standard in Japan to give chocolates on to the person as a bribery thing. There's a picture with one, the dancer just dressed up pretty, and then all the jobs are just stood there holding chocolate out.
Very nice.
And with the white mage in the background, just like looking angry.
Oh,
rip. All right.
I think I showed you it, didn't I, Tim?
No.
I think I showed you that in our chat.
Yeah, play that one again. I would be amused to see it.
Gimme.
All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and pin it for now. I think we covered most of what we needed to at that point.
Thank you.
Because it's going to be another week or two before some amount. I want to say a couple weeks before we get to hear about gatherers and crafters. They have promised us that they haven't forgotten about them. They're just focusing on the battle stuff.
Yep,
right
that'll
now.
be June 14th. So just before the next episode. So let's go ahead and read. We got a bunch of Twitter comments. From some guy named at Talis Marvelous.
He's right here. Why are we reading his comment?
Well, because he tweeted, "Have you listened to Phoenix Down Radio lately? Tonight, join me in trolling the chat and talking about the media tour. See you at 6:30 p.m. PST."
All right, let's hear it. How good did he do in trolling the chat?
Terrible.
We have standards here.
He was terrible.
Oh, God's that asshole, says Chocobro.
Right? Exactly. My thoughts exactly. But no, we're glad that instead of just trolling the chat, you were trolling the show. Well,
I trolled the show and I trolled the bot in chat. That was great.
No, I'm glad that you could join us, Talis. Thank you so much for tweeting that out. You got a lot of people retweeting and liking that, so
yeah, that was awesome.
Appreciate that. From Krev LM, this one was a nice one because said, thanks for amazing stream, friends. We sent the love over to Phoenix Down Radio, playing some more Final Fantasy XIV. They rated us on Monday night, which was really nice. We got a bunch of people stopping in and saying hi while we were playing some Final Fantasy XIV on Monday. So, Krev, thank you so much for the raid and for sending people over. Had a great time with it.
I know what that means, but it just sounds like something else, something untoward.
Well, a raid is supposed to be a little bit it's supposed to be a slight bit disruptive to the streamer, but it's generally a positive thing because what they're doing is you're sending people over there to, say, hi, we're from this channel, we're here to see what you got going on, and it gives you an opportunity to interact with a new audience.
That's fair.
So it's a fun thing if you can get a raid. We try to raid every once in a while if we see somebody else in the community on that we think that our group would enjoy watching. In fact, I'm going to have to see if there's anybody we can raid after the show. From Talon Broadbent, shout out to Phoenix Down Radio and Phoenix Down Klaus and crew for the merch. Thank you guys in response to receiving his bumper sticker. Glad you liked that. And like I said, we have been sending them out as you guys have been sending your addresses to me. So if you have not yet sent your address for your sub, let me know what that is and we'll get that sent out to you. From our friends at She Heals I Tank.
I just want to say, I'm looking at my screen at a distance and it looks like She Heal I Stank. And that's kind of funny. I love you guys, but that's kind of funny.
It is funny. Saying at Phoenix Down Klaus, is it weird that I saw this stuffed Red Mage Chocobo and pictured you? Not you owning it, but you sort of being it.
That was a great picture.
Yes. And then, of course, they said, no, I've absolutely not. That's totally me. Red Mage for life. And then they said, except for the beard. And then I put a beard on it.
If you liked it, then you should have put a beard on it.
If you like it, then you should put a beard on it.
Be my beard.
Yeah, being someone's beard means that means something else.
Oh, okay.
And from our friend Ragna Saski, my Red Mage Stone finally showed up. Thank you at Loot Cave for the great product, and Klaus for letting me know about it. # Red Mage, # Final Fantasy XIV. And I'm glad that you were able to get it and you like it. And as most of us here can attest, they do make awesome products over at Loot Cave. So go check them out at lootcaveco.com. Because Sarah, you got some stuff, right?
Yep, I got that White Mage Red Warrior Stone. Why did I say White Mage? What the hell, brain? Yeah. No, I've got that Warrior Stone that reminds me whenever I'm facing troubles, I can solve it through sheer force of anger.
And axes.
Exactly.
And I got a bunch of the Red Mage stuff. Talis, do you have anything from them?
I actually don't. I don't think so anyway. I have a lot of merch. I don't know where it all came from.
But no, recommend if you like, the job stones or just a whole bunch of video game stuff in general, Loot Cave is a really cool place. Totally not a plug, but kind of a plug. I guess I am a Loot Cave ambassador, so go check out Loot Cave. All right. So I guess, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you liked what you heard, please make sure to like, subscribe, or follow us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we're out on now, Google Podcasts, or whatever your preferred podcatcher is. And if possible, leave us a rating or review. Helps
oh my gosh,
people...
Klaus.
What?
That Red Mage Chocobo with the beard is actually freaking adorable.
You found the tweet?
Yes, that is actually surprisingly cute. Anyway,
if you really dig the show, you can consider subscribing here at twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio. I will be sending out bumper stickers as they are available if you send your address to us. Like I said, if we can hit 50 subscriber points, it will unlock all of the emotes, and we can give you some really awesome things to spam the chat with. Or you can become a patron out at patreon.com/PhoenixDownRadio, like our friend Aurori Fenrir. All the proceeds we get go towards growing the show, cover the fun stuff like hosting costs, and allow us to do fun things like some giveaways, which we're going to be doing some of that stuff as well coming up here soon. But any kind of support, whether it's likes, tweets, retweets, subs, donations, or whatever, It's always greatly appreciated because we just love interacting with you guys. You are the reason we keep doing this. If you want to check out our show as well as our back catalog, if you're new to us, go check out our newly renovated website, phoenixdownradio.com. Like I said, we recently had some issues with that, and I decided to redo the theme. Hope you guys enjoy it. I think it looks really nice now. If you have questions...
It does look a lot better, dude. It looks so much better.
Yeah, it took a lot. It took me like 4 hours or so just tweaking with it. It's still not perfect, but we'll get there. It's a work in progress, but hope you guys enjoy it. If you have questions or just want to say hi, you can email us podcast@phoenixdownradio.com. Our Twitter is @PHXDNradio. And if you want to check out all the backlog of our videos, we have not only all our podcasts, but a few random videos as well. You can check that out at youtube.com/PhoenixDownRadio. All right, now is the time for all of these shout outs. Who wants to start first? Maybe Chili, you should start with some certain
it's my last shout out here, so
yeah, you haven't even mentioned what you were going to talk about, were you?
What? We've been busy.
We have been busy with a lot of stuff. Why don't you go ahead and tell us all what's up.
I'm taking a break from Phoenix Down Radio, so this will be my last show for a while. So, yeah, there we go. Shout outs now. Shout out to twitch.tv/SheHillsATank. Go check them out. Shout out to twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio. Shout out to twitch.tv/MuggleGoRound Radio. Those people over there. Also, shout out to Phoenix Down Radio, I guess, because, I might as well now. Twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. There we go.
Where can they find you, Chili? Where can they stalk you and tell you to come back to Phoenix Down Radio?
You can find me at MGR_Chili.
Chili, I just have to say this right away. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being a fan first.
No problem.
Well, actually, you're a friend first.
Well, I was a fan first, but yeah, I know what you mean.
In the order of how we found you, being a fan first, then a friend, and then an indispensable co-host. You are going to be missed immensely. You're welcome anytime if you decide you want to show up and hang out for a while. If you want to be a guest, and hopefully your break isn't as long as you hope it needs to be, and you come back to us soon. We're gonna
love you
miss
so much.
Come back for episode 100 at least.
You at least have to do that.
Yeah.
That's not
much of a break. That's in like...
That's in 2 months.
Well, yeah, but you don't actually have to prepare anything for it. You can just show up and say
true.
Whatever.
Sure.
I mean, we're not going to pull you from the notes, so you're going to have access if you need them anyway. So.
Okay.
But again, thank you so much for everything, and good luck with focusing on Moogle Go Round, focusing on PlayStation Unchanged, Problematic sticker, whatever other dozen projects you're working on right now.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. So make sure to take time for yourself.
Yay. By the way, the sun has risen.
Oh dear.
God, for anybody that hasn't figured it out, Chili lives in a different part of the universe, apparently.
Yeah, different part of the universe, indeed.
I mean, everyone lives in a different part of the universe when you think about it. Now look at your hands. They're so huge.
I have tiny hands.
They can touch everything but themselves. Oh, shit.
Whoa.
That's a good reference.
Touch themselves. Touch
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, God. Touch
One of my favorite Futurama references that no one else seems to know.
Dude, Futurama is my favorite show.
It's beautiful.
All right, speaking of Sarah, how about why don't you go ahead and go?
All right. Shout out to my fellow lore mongers. There's a whole bunch of you. Most prominent the last few days, I've been chatting with Anonymous, Rockle, Siahan, Casca, Chamo, and Minnie. You're all great. Especially because we barely talk about lore and mostly just shit post about our lives. It's awesome. Shout out to my partners in crime and duty roulettes, Tristan and Spender. Thank you for putting up with my really, really wonky healing the other day. In my defense, I was incredibly distracted by more amusing things, which isn't much of a defense. I don't know why I even said that.
Because reasons.
Shout out to all the lovable bastards on the Crucible Discord server. You're all good people. I love chatting with you. I want to remind every last one of you to hydrate. Actually, really, everyone here, hydrate. Like right now. Also,
I'm
put your
out of
phone down for a bit before you go to bed. Work on your sleep hygiene. You deserve to get good rest and feel good about yourselves. And also, shout out to Simon Nosrat, the author of Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. Thank you for helping make major improvements to the lunchboxes I've been packing the last few days.
Wait, does it count that I drank
She's
nearly
never
half a
going to
liter?
hear it, but I wanted to shout her out anyways.
Does it count that I drank nearly half a liter of water during this podcast?
That's good.
Yes, that's awesome.
Okay, good. In fact, I'm about to finish. So
And then where can they find you, Sarah?
So you can find me on Twitter at FFXIV SEYRR, where I mostly post occasional random musings, pictures of stuff that I cooked that looked nice, and sometimes funny stuff that I find working at the library.
All right.
You can also find me on the Phoenix Down Radio Discord server, where I monitor the Library channel pretty much constantly, and I'm happy to go on a half-hour tear that's tangentially related to the thing that you asked about. At some point, I will also answer your question. It's great.
He'll do it. He will. Tim, why don't you do some shout-outs and tell us a little bit about more about yourself and where they can find you.
Well, I would like to shout out both Sarah and Chili because I feel incredibly inadequate now with any possible shout-outs I could possibly make. I never
it's not a contest.
So thank you
I
for that.
actually started writing them down just because I knew I was never going to remember otherwise.
That's smart.
wait, you have to write down.
I do.
But then I do it so many times a week that it's.
Yeah, Chili has it ingrained into his brain. Anyway, let's let Tim do it now.
Go, Tim. Go, Tim.
I would like to shout out everybody here for having me on. Thank you for listening to my clumsy interpretations of what I saw and what I learned. I wish I were more knowledgeable with 14, but now is a better time than anything at this point. And I'm more invested now than I was before. And God, Yoshi P is so awesome. Shout out to Yoshi P. I know you're not listening, but
maybe he is.
You're the bomb. I hope he is.
I imagine not. Maybe he's having someone listen and then translate for him.
Wait, he can understand English, can't he? So
kind of, yeah.
He did fairly well.
I guess so. It wouldn't be the fact that he can't hear us. Yeah, he'd be understand what we're saying. He just wouldn't. Yeah.
And I cannot remember her name because I'm terrible with names, but he had a fantastic translator. So shout out to her. Yeah. She did. She's fantastic.
Yeah. He usually has Aimee as the translator. She does a lot of the shows and live letters where they have a translator.
Yep. She did a great job at the show. She went through pages and pages of notes because Yoshi P gives long answers. So shout out to her. She's fantastic. And shout out to listeners. Thank you for the engaging conversation tonight. I would also like to shout out Sarah again. Thank you for your positive energy. That even I don't know you very well, but it still goes a long way. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then thanks for the dress compliment. That comes a long way too.
Yeah, no. People who wear nice outfits should have that recognized.
Preach.
And then how can they find you if they want to stalk you some more, Tim?
If they want to stalk. You can find me anywhere basically under the name Timberelli. Timberelli. And that's on Instagram or Twitter. Facebook is private, but it's Facebook. I don't go on it very much anymore.
Well, thank you so much for being on. I thought that your conversation, your points were very valid and poignant. I learned a lot. I'm very jealous of you. So you did an amazing job, Tim. I'm glad that we were able to finally get you on the show.
Me too. This has been fun.
Taliz, your turn.
All right, so I want to shout out to a couple people in the chat specifically, Chocobro and Pyrocats. Thank you guys for coming in. They're friends of mine. I was posting all over it. I was like, hey, you guys should listen tonight. I haven't been on the show in forever. So thank you guys for coming out. I also wanted to shout out to my friend Mary, who does a bunch of stupid raids on the Crystal DC. So if you want to do something really silly and fun, join Mary's Stray Cats. We have one coming up in 2 weeks called the Unemployment Raid, where no one's allowed to wear a job crystal and we're doing Crystal Tower. That's going to be a It's going to be a good. We've done an all warrior raid. We've done all Lala raids. We've done an all Wolfman raid. We had a good time. So find Mary Matsuri. She's great. Shout outs to Ruby, who is the amazing source of getting tickets to Cafe Orsia. If you ever find yourself in Tokyo, just harass Ruby and she's more than happy to grab tickets and go with you and help translate the menu because she's awesome. Shout outs to you guys for having me on. It's been forever. I'm glad to be around again. It's fun. And Tim, shout outs to you. Thank you for coming in with everything. This media tour was phenomenal to watch from a distance, and getting to hear it firsthand was so great. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. No problem. It's fun.
And where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at TalesMarvelous. I post stuff about Final Fantasy, food, and a whole bunch of crap about exercise and cars. I quit smoking about 2.5 months ago, and I also imported a car about a month ago. So those are pretty much the two biggest things that I won't shut up about. So prepare for that.
Thank you again for being on, Talas. Really do appreciate it.
Of course.
You're going through a very similar journey that I went through a couple of years ago with this quitting smoking and losing weight and just getting into fitness. It's quite a change in your lifestyle, isn't it?
Dude, you can also find me on Instagram. It's linked to my Twitter, and
Is that where you put all the good
pictures
stuff?
on there of from when I started to now, and holy crap, it's phenomenal. So if you need help quitting smoking, I have some tools and tricks and stuff for you. And if you want to get into fitness, I am more than happy to encourage you to do that as well.
Well, I got lucky. I was able to quit cold turkey.
Me too.
And
I quit tobacco. I won't touch weed because I don't want to even start a slide into smoking again. I'm just done. It's been wild.
oh, I hear you. But yeah, if you ever want to talk about that, I mean, Talas and I are both available for stuff like that. So yeah, we're here to help. And I suppose it's my turn now. Shout out to Tim. Like I said, I'm glad we were able to finally get you on. We wanted you to join us initially for the episode where we had Neil on to talk about new player experiences, since you are kind of another new player, kind of a returning player. But like I said, I'm glad that we were able to get you on here and where you could talk about that amazing trip that you got to have. So thank you so much, and glad to talk with you on a podcast again, since I haven't been on the anime show for a while.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks again.
Talas,
I never get sick of your voice.
Talas, thank you again for joining us tonight. It was a lot of fun to have your interesting opinions.
Interesting. And hey, maybe next time I'm back, we could talk about food again.
Well, we talked quite a bit about food, but maybe we can do something Final Fantasy related, huh?
Oh, fine.
And not just cheeky.
Yeah, maybe we could get
Nandos.
Brad Leone on the show. That'll be great. Or maybe Claire would show up. That'd be fun.
I don't know. I kind of want Gabby.
I super want Gabby. That would be hilarious.
She is just awesome. If you guys aren't familiar, go check out Bon Appetit's YouTube channel. Sorry, I know it's totally unrelated, but they do some amazing content when it comes to food. Especially their last series where they made the perfect pizza.
Making perfect is phenomenal. We are gonna get super deep. We need to just stop right now.
We need to stop right now. If you want to talk more
Super
about that,
deep hand.
you can hit me up at phxdn _ KLAUSS out on Twitter. How's that for a nice segue, huh? But shout out to everybody checking us out here live at twitch.tv/PhoenixDown Everybody listening out on the podcast, thank you so much for joining us and listening to our shit show. Not She Heals I Tank, but we kind of...
the shit show is another show.
Yeah, they're the shit podcast, but we just had a shit show. No, thank you so much for all of that. You're the reason we keep doing this. And shout out to everybody who is not doing lewd things on the stream.
Finally, someone noticed it.
No, you need to check chat. I've been yelling at you.
So for our guest, Tim Noons, for our guest host, Talas, and for our break-taking host, Chili, and for Sarah, I'm Klaus Nightbringer, wishing everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you again so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Phoenix Down
Morning.
Radio is a production
Time
of
zone.
PhoenixDownRadio.com and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. In-game content for Phoenix Down Radio is the copyright of Square Enix. Opening music for Phoenix Down Radio is provided by Guilty Gear Rock You. Check out the Metal Chocobo theme cover and many other music videos at youtube.com/Guilty Gear Rock You. Closing music for this episode is provided by Guitar Wanker 90. Please check out their full version of Matoya's Cave and other rock video game covers at youtube.com/Guitar Wanker 90. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.